Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
This Memorial Day, turn up the heat with the Home Depot. Find the perfect grill and patio set to keep the cookouts coming all season long. Grill up a feast with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill, only $229. And complete your space with the stylish Glen Ridge Falls 7-piece dining set, now on special buy for just $499 with free delivery. Take your Memorial Day cookout to the next level all summer long with the Home Depot. See homedepot.com/delivery for more details.
ESPN 710, Los Angeles Sports.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland is on for your Thursday afternoon.
Mason, Ireland, best show on the radio.
Here we go. Mason Vacation Week starts with the Hall of Famers. By the way, it's Thursday, May 22nd. Hello. Mason on vacation to Hawaii, although he just sent me an email. I was hoping he wouldn't, but he did. Meanwhile, Andy Kamenetsky. Yes, the official Boogie Nights music for him.
May I see it? Really? Please.
If you want. And Andy Kamenetsky's in for Mace. John Ireland is here. Producer Laura, producer Brian Cohen. What an Eastern Conference Finals Game 1 last night. A battle at the Garden between the Pacers and Knicks. We'll talk about it. Dodgers baseball and Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. All that ahead. Yes, we're going to talk sports, but also hopefully some nonsense.
Here's where I want to get on my soapbox.
Because that's what we like to do. Let's do it. The biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland. Here Thursday afternoon right now.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Man, is there a lot going on. Happy to have you with us. As Morales said, Mason's still in Hawaii. He'll be back next week, and then he'll go on vacation the week after that, probably.
It's in his contract.
Yeah, it is. Here's where I want to start. Andy, would I be guilty of embellishment?
Always.
Guilty of kind of captured by the moment?
Always.
If I say that's one of the best basketball games I've ever seen.
No, that was phenomenal. You're talking Pacers, you're talking Knicks, game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. That was a really fun game.
How did that happen? All right, so get a load of this. Until last night, teams that were down by 9 with less than a minute to go in a playoff game were 0-1,414. No wins, 1,414 losses. And the Pacers ended it.
To quote Han Solo, never tell me the odds.
How? It's one of the craziest comebacks in NBA playoff history.
It's a combination of
They were down 14 with 2:35 to go. Andy, you and I have been to thousands of games, NBA games. 14 with 2:35 to go is when you head back to get in line for the scrum in the back by the locker room.
Look, man, it's a combination of, I think, we live in an NBA where truly, it's a cliche, but no lead is safe. Like in a league that is this three-point centric, and the Pacers are a team that is offensively driven with a lot of shooting, no lead is safe. They had one role player in Aaron Naismith that just went nuts in the fourth quarter from behind the arc. He couldn't miss.
6 threes in the final 8 minutes.
Tyrese Halliburton is both a great player, but also he's a player that doesn't make mistakes. Like, he is one of the best distributors in the league and ball handlers in the league without turning the ball over. He is a clutch time shot maker. You've got a coach in Rick Carlisle who's won a championship. You've got a player in Pascal Siakam who's won a championship. You've got like a lot of elements there that I think lead to not panicking.
Okay.
And not giving up.
I agree with everything you just said. Having said that.
Still amazing.
Having said that.
It's unreal.
I know the answer is both, but just tip the scale for me. What is more true? The Pacers won it or the Knicks lost it?
Pacers won. I think
the opposite. Brian, what do you think?
Pacers won.
Laura?
Knicks lost.
Yeah, so we're evenly divided. Why do you think that, Andy?
Because it's still not easy to make some of the shots that they made. Like, even if you think that the Knicks screwed up a few coverages that led to Aaron Nesmith getting more open looks that he should have, they weren't all wide open. And even then, guys miss open shots all the time. Like Tyrese Halliburton had the presence of mind to start driving, then back up to get the shot that he wanted. Like you're on the road in overtime in the Garden to get that win as the lower seed. I'm giving more credit to the Pacers because the Pacers just started turning it on in ways that I think the Knicks just couldn't keep up with.
Just tell me what should be at the top of this list. I know this is not a one-answer question. More than anything else, what should the Knicks have done differently?
Ooh, what should they done differently?
I have an answer.
I mean,
after the third Aaron Nesmith three, okay, you look at that and you say, all right, we're still up 11-12 in a game. I'm going to run him off the 3-point line.
I was just about to say that. Like,
if he's on a heater, and clearly he was, I'm not letting him continue to shoot threes. And I'm shocked that Tom Thibodeau, a defensive-minded coach, didn't do that.
I mean, again, like we talked about this during crosstalk, sometimes I think the line gets blurred between what Thibodeau was telling them to do or allowing them to do versus that's what the players were doing. Like sometimes guys don't do what they're supposed to do. I do think, though, they should have been looking to break Nesmith's rhythm more because, I mean, he's in a zone from behind the arc. I would have made him put the ball on the floor, or you would have tried to. But he also was getting up those shots quickly. And also, there was a stretch in that game where a lot of three-point shooting fouls were getting called. So if that's the way you think the game's getting called, it's going to make you a little bit wary as a defender about not wanting to put Nesmith or whoever on the line.
It was a stunning. Who do you have winning the series now?
Ooh.
Who did you have before that game? I had the Knicks before that.
The game,
now I don't know.
Before the game, I think was feeling Pacers. Like it was pretty close, but
Trudell thought Pacers.
They are a really good offensive team, and I think they're better defensively than people think. Like they don't have a defensive reputation, but they've got a lot of guys who can play disruptive defense.
All right, coming up next. By the way, we have a listener, Ivan in Monrovia, who issued a challenge to me.
Yes.
Ivan, you should know better. If Andy and I are working together and you issue a challenge that has anything to do with movies, your challenge will be accepted. That's coming up at 2 o'clock. He sent me the list of the 10 greatest sports movies of all time. It's incredibly flawed. We'll fix it. That's coming up at 2 o'clock. And coming up next, the Dodgers are off today. They're flying to New York. Tomorrow they open up a series against the Mets. The Mets have the highest payroll in all of baseball. If the Dodgers are number 2, I'm going to ask this question coming up next. Realistically, can you win the World Series in 2025 if you don't have a top 10 payroll? We'll get into that coming up next. Andy Kamenetsky in for Mase. I'm John Ireland, Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
Do you know a high school senior who's a leader, a scholar, an athlete? Nominate them now for the ESPN LA All-Star Student presented by Rotolo Chevrolet. You get 5 winners, $500 scholarships, VIP treatment to our All-Star Friday event. Nominate your All-Star student today at ESPNLA.com. Thanks to Rotolo Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in the West region in California for 13 years in a row. Come see what the fun is all about.
Waba Grill.
What's our secret? It's our sauce.
Our sauces are more flavorful for you, from sweet and spicy to fiery hot. Waba Grill. It's unexpected. It's delicious. It's saucy. It's for you.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their 1-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrecht. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
safety awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
Lease a Hyundai Tucson for only $259 a month, or get 3.99% APR for 72 months. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end June 2nd. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
At Children's Hospital Los Angeles, we're a nationally recognized leader in pediatric care, honored by U.S. News & World Report as one of the best in the country. Here, we achieve amazing breakthroughs that change lives. From groundbreaking cancer therapies that offer new hope to young patients, to advanced heart procedures that save lives, we partner with families to conquer challenges and achieve extraordinary outcomes. Choose the best care for your child at chla.org.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Los Angeles International Airport's People Mover trains begin rolling early next year as part of LAX's ongoing investments to transform and improve your travel journey. The People Mover trains will quickly move guests between their terminals and our new consolidated rental car center, metro trains and buses, economy parking, and Kiss and Fly lot. The trains will make it simple and fast to get to your LAX destination in 10 minutes or less, and trains depart every 2 minutes beginning in early 2026. Learn more at lawa.org/ESPN.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
We're everyday people doing good in our community. Our kindness runs deep, just like our blood. The same blood we donate to help treat sickle cell disease, which hits Black people the hardest. Good news is, 1 in 3 Black blood donors is a match for someone struggling with sickle cell disease. Stand tall in the eyes of your community. Donate today because our blood saves lives. Visit redcrossblood.org/ourblood to make your donation.
You're checking out the Waba Grill Lunch Hour here on Mason and Ireland.
Sup, people?
Why do they grill to order at Waba Grill? Because it's just better for you. Their Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins, fresh steamed vegetables, and signature sauces. Download the Waba Rewards app today or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you. Just like Mason and Ireland are for you.
Tell me if I'm weird here. Don't answer that question.
You're weird.
I knew that was coming.
The Waba Grill Lunch Hour rolls on right now.
All right, Mason and Ireland, Andy Kamenetsky in for Mase. Just got done talking about that incredible Knicks-Pacers game last night, and there is no Dodger game tonight. It's a travel day. They landed up winning last night thanks to Teoscar Hernandez, a 3-run homer in the 7th inning. They were, I think at the time, Andy, they had 1 hit. And then Teoscar in the 7th inning hit a 3-run homer, and that was it. Corbin Burns pitched really well. Dustin May gets the win for the Dodgers.
He was very good.
And very lucky because he basically pitched, and then Teoscar hit the home run, and then they took Dustin May out, and the bullpen won the game for him, which hasn't been happening, so good for him. They open a series in New York. Speaking of New York, and by the way, Ramona was at the game last night covering Knicks-Pacers for ESPN. She'll join us at 3:15. Or I'm sorry, 2:15. That's the old Mason and Ireland show. 2:15. Andy, Dodgers head to New York to take on the Mets tomorrow. These are the teams with the two highest payrolls in all of Major League Baseball. Mets $323.1 million. The Dodgers $321.3 million. But to be honest, if the Dodgers didn't have all those deferred salaries, they'd have the biggest. So these are the 2 biggest kids on the block. Is this a preview of the National League Championship Series, if you had to guess?
Quite possibly.
Now, here's a harder question. Can you win the World Series, in your opinion, without a top 10 payroll?
It's difficult. It's not impossible, but it's difficult. Case in point, last year, Yankees, Dodgers.
2 of the top 3.
They were the 2 top, according to Spot Track. I'm looking at 2023. The winner that year was the
Rangers, right?
The Rangers,
Yeah.
they were top 10 in payroll. They're 7th, according to Spotrac.
They're 6th now.
It is difficult to do it. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it is really, really hard.
Now, I don't think there'll ever be a salary cap in baseball. I think the players' union is too strong. But wouldn't it be a good thing? They're the only league of the 4 major professional sports leagues that don't have a salary cap. As long as they don't, isn't this pattern that we're talking about right now just going to continue in perpetuity?
Sure.
Is that okay? I mean, that 20 of your 30 teams don't have a chance?
Yeah, because all these owners could spend more if they wanted to. They choose not to. And fans should vote with their feet and vote with their wallet. Like, do all teams have the same advantages as the Dodgers with, their own TV network and stuff like that? No. Could all these teams spend as much as the Dodgers? No. They all could spend more, though. So I have zero sympathy for a bunch of billionaires crying poor when the reality is they're using what you're talking about as an excuse not to spend because they'll say it's all fatalistic. What's the point? We can't compete with these teams. Therefore, we won't spend what we could. We just don't want to. So screw them.
I think it would make the sport more competitive. Again, I don't think the players would allow it, but the way you could potentially get one in with the players is you institute a floor along with the cap, along with the ceiling.
I'm 100% in favor of a floor.
In other words, you run the numbers and show the players, look, because we're going to put in a floor and we are going to cap salaries, at the players will just, the minute you say that, they say no. But if you say we're going to make the Pirates and the Rays and all these teams that traditionally don't spend money spend a minimum amount of money, and here's what the total player salary pool would look like, I think the players then at least consider it. I don't know if they're going to like it, but they would consider it.
Yeah, they're definitely more likely to consider it if there is a floor, and I think there should be a floor anyway because fans pay a lot of money to go to these games, and I feel like these owners who can spend should be obligated to spend past a certain point, or up to a certain point. But I'm sorry, I have no sympathy for these owners because I feel like the overwhelming majority of them.
Oh, I don't care about them either, but I just want to know what's best for the sport. If my goal is competitive balance, wouldn't this be good?
I'm going to be honest. I think competitive balance can be an overrated thing as well. And again, I think
you're okay if it's Dodgers, Yankees in the playoffs every year, in the World Series every year.
Yeah, I mean, A, I don't think it will be.
It won't.
But B, if that's the case, if those are the two fan bases, if those are the two franchises that their owners are most dedicated to winning, and therefore they will spend the most, they deserve to have those long playoff runs.
Okay. I'm going to take kind of a weird left turn before we get into Wheel of Questions. And I'm just going to tell you guys a story, and I want you to tell me if it's a good thing or a bad thing. All right? Remember that story about the Pittsburgh Pirate fan who fell out of the upper deck and landed in the lower deck?
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness he lived. He's okay. I mean, he's got a broken back, and he's going to have medical issues forever. But
it's amazing that he survived.
They think he can make a full recovery. But now there's a twist in that story. Yesterday, police in Pittsburgh, they went and pulled video. Just so you know, when you go to a game now, you're all on video. Everybody is. And they realized that the fan that fell was underage. Okay?
Right.
Had also been drinking. So they went back and looked at the videotape and realized that a friend of his, an adult who was of legal age, was buying him beer and giving it to him. They're charging the friend now as part of, as part of this. I guess it would be like assault
liability.
or they want to make an.
What exactly?
Let me look up exactly what the charges are. But
I meant more. What exactly are the Pirates being held liable for to begin with? It's a terrible accident, but I'm wondering what the Pirates are actually held liable for in this situation.
I don't know if, and maybe that's why they're doing this. So a little back history. In 2011, a fan at a Ranger game died after falling over a railing while trying to catch a ball that Josh Hamilton threw him.
Mm-hmm.
There have been other tragic incidents.
Yeah.
A man at a Braves game died after losing his balance, dropped out of the upper deck. Okay, so this particular incident was on April 30th. A guy named Kevon Markwood jumped out of his seat and dropped more than 20 feet after propelling himself over the outfield wall and ending up on the dirt below. Medical personnel, scrambled to treat him. He's 20. They got him to the hospital. He's got a long road of recovery ahead of him, but he's alive. He broke his neck, his back, and his collarbone. Oof. Now, one of Markwood's friends has now been hit with a criminal charge after officers who conducted an investigation into the incident viewed footage that showed him buying multiple beers and that his underage friend consumed those before the fall. They reviewed security footage before publishing the report. Ethan Kirkwood is 21 years old. Kevin Markwood is 20. In Pennsylvania, the drinking age is 21 like it is here. Okay. The 21-year-old made 2 trips to the concession stands to buy some cans of Miller Lite that he gave to Markwood. Markwood's girlfriend said he had 2 beers during the game but didn't drink before. The friend has been charged with furnishing alcohol to a minor and faces a minimum fine of $1,000 if he's convicted. So it's not a giant charge. This is obviously tragic. What do you think of charging the friend? Good idea or bad idea?
Well, I mean, first of all, this sounds like this is separate from anything the Pirates are doing. The Pirates are not. It does not sound like are looking to have this guy charged. That's why I was asking, because it sounded in the beginning, the way you were presenting this, like the Pirates were trying to offload their own liability onto this guy, and it doesn't sound like that at all.
It's the police that are charging this guy, but the police, I'm assuming the same police are at every Pirates game.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, this reminds me of when I used to bartend, and I worked at a few places that were very loose.
So this is a great parallel.
Yeah, and I was a loose bartender in terms of free drinks
or if you order
strong,
a drink even after you've been drinking, I'd give you another one. Yeah,
strong, all that stuff. Unless you were so wasted that you were obnoxious or a problem.
Occasionally, I would ask, "Are you driving?"
Well, right.
Yeah.
Do stuff like that.
But I'm like you. I was guilty of the same thing you are. I would serve them.
But the one thing that I was on point, no exceptions, didn't even care if you were one of my friends, I would card you every time, because there are spotters in there all the time.
Right.
And you can get fined for serving someone underage.
Well, let's assume for the sake of this...
And if somebody actually got behind the wheel and got into an accident, I could be held liable if they were overserved or underage or both.
But what do you think about them bringing a criminal charge into something that was pretty tragic before they got involved?
I mean, I don't...
And these 2 guys are friends.
I don't know if it's necessary. It also doesn't sound, though, like it's really going to lead to much in terms of, implications.
Well, they're obviously trying to make an example. Brian, what do you think about charging the friend?
I don't necessarily see an issue with it. I mean...
I don't have a problem with it. I
Right.
I don't see what the point is either.
Same, because to that point, the guy could have... I mean, he said he didn't show up, drunk already, but he could have showed up drunk to begin with.
Yeah, and just because he wasn't drinking doesn't mean he wasn't doing something else.
But also, too, if you take the girlfriend at her word and he only had a couple of beers, it doesn't sound like being...
Like his blood alcohol level would cause him to fall over the wall.
It doesn't sound like alcohol was a particularly big part of this to begin with. It just sounds like a really awful situation.
Laura, what do you think of charging the friend?
I don't like it. I mean, also, the guy's 20 years old, so he might be super close to being 21. Not that it should matter a lot, but at the same time, he is an adult. He knew what he was doing, and 2 beers, I'm sorry, that's
It seems this reminded me a little bit of you guys probably read the story about John Elway's longtime business partner was killed in a golf cart accident, and Elway was driving the cart, and he feels awful about it. Both families have issued statements saying these guys were best friends. Yeah. This is a tragic accident. If you throw a criminal charge on top of it, aren't you pouring gas onto a fire?
I don't necessarily see the point of it. Again, it doesn't sound like it's going to be a truly criminal charge.
It might cost them $1,000.
It's going to sound
They're
like
obviously
a
making an example out of him to tell other fans, don't pull this crap.
Right, exactly. Or they're just trying to make fans more cautious. And I suppose if there's any liability for the Pirates, you're offloading a bit. I just don't see what the Pirates would be held liable for.
I just thought it seemed weird. I just thought it seemed weird, so I thought I'd bring it up. Okay, coming up next, we're going to spin the wheel of questions. Top of the hour, sports graffiti. Andy Kamenetsky is in for Mase. I'm John Ireland Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA.
Saturday, it's East versus West as
Waba
LAFC.
Grill.
What's our secret? It's our sauce.
Our sauces are more flavorful for you, from sweet and spicy to fiery hot. Waba Grill. It's unexpected. It's delicious. It's saucy. It's for you.
Hey guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at espnla.com.
Advantage at 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-397-2747, or visit sellersadvantage.com.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
And it is the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, here each weekday. You know what it's time for? What is this? It's time for Wheel of Questions. Producer Brian Cohen, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it, Jack.
This is actually really interesting.
That's a dumbass question.
And it might.
Huh?
Here we go. All right, guys. So I talked about that I order Uber Eats a lot, and I became aware of ghost kitchens during the pandemic.
Explain what that means.
So it's basically I don't want to say a warehouse, but a building, and it has a bunch of different kitchens in there. So a bunch of different little restaurants.
Okay.
And people can order.
It's
food from
specifically for takeout?
Yes.
Okay.
So there is a ghost kitchen here in Echo Park that residents have been complaining about because it pretty much clogs up their streets. And it says that this particular ghost kitchen operates 26 different little mini kitchens. So imagine 26 different little restaurants in there, and Uber drivers are in and out of your area.
Gotcha.
So if you guys were living here, because this is on Sunset and Douglas, or in your neighborhood became so crowded because of a ghost kitchen, how would you handle that? If it's just a drive-through overnight. That's
Right.
crazy.
I wouldn't be happy, Andy. If there's a reason that you hear the phrase zoning a lot. There's a reason that area doesn't sound like to me that it's zoned for a kitchen. That it's a residential area, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. They're trying to skirt the rule. If I live next door to a guy that turns his house into a ghost kitchen and there's Ubers coming in every 5 minutes, I'm saying something to somebody.
I've never heard of this before, so I'm sort of figuring out in real time what a ghost kitchen is, but it almost feels like a food truck living next to you. I mean, am I wrong about this? But it doesn't seem that much different.
If you had one food truck, you could walk out to it and order food from any time. Picture a different car showing up every 5 minutes to pick up the food at all hours of the day and night.
This just sounds like LA traffic to me. Like there are always Waymos and Ubers and all this stuff going up and down the street. This might also, in some ways, like your opinion of this could be indicative of where you live. Like I live in the mid-city area, which is, it's right near like La Brea, Pico, Olympic,
So it's
Fairfax.
a little bit of a hodgepodge of
Right.
a business residential
This
area
doesn't-
already.
Right. This doesn't, I was going to say more urban, but that doesn't feel right, but it's not quite suburban either. Like this doesn't feel to me that different than what I live in anyway.
Right. I live in a guard gated resident. You've been to my house.
Yeah.
If somebody turned their house into a food kitchen, it would stick out like a sore thumb.
Well,
It'd be
okay.
bad.
Let me ask you this in terms of are there levels? If somebody in your neighborhood was running a business out of their house, like a full-on
Someone probably is.
Right.
Yeah.
Which could potentially have cars going in and out, trucks, deliveries, stuff like that. Would that bother you?
Depends what the business is.
Okay.
If it was a food business, so they would constantly be going in and out all hours of the day, I think that would bother me. If it was somebody that sells widgets out of their house, I don't know if that bothered me.
Across the street from me, there is a very large rented house that looks like it's got about 7 rooms in it and about 15 different people, like a cast of characters that is constantly revolving in and out. It looks like a almost palatial frat house. Like that to me, because I live it, that feels more annoying than the concept of the ghost kitchen.
Have you ever said anything to anybody about that?
No, I mean,
anybody can do anything about it.
Here's the thing. I have never said anything about it because they have been always nice or polite to me. But I know people in my neighborhood have complained about them. There's also a high-rise that just got built like within a corner of my house. And that has created a lot of traffic in the neighborhood, a lot of parking issues. There's parking in this structure, but there are people I can tell who don't want to pay the fees. So they look for street parking, and it reduces availability where I live. Like, again,
that happened to me when I lived in the Hollywood Hills.
That to me feels more intrusive than the ghost kitchen, because even with the cars coming in and out, they're not sticking around a while. Like they're in and out.
That's the problem, because there's 26 different
Yeah, if
restaurants.
there's 26 different ones, you might have as many as 26 cars
Right,
parked
and that's
outside
the
your
problem that they're talking
It's
about.
a lot of ghost kitchens. Side note.
I don't like it.
It's one building, many people in there.
All right, so answer this question any way you guys want. Laura, who's the most generous person you know?
Just in general?
Yeah.
Probably my parents.
Okay. Brian, how about you?
In terms of like giving gifts, it might be you and Mason, honestly.
Yeah, we take care of you guys. But Andy, how about you?
My mom.
Okay. For me, believe it or not, it might be Michael. Michael is one of the most generous people I've ever seen. Never lets anybody pay for dinner. Never lets anybody pay for anything. And he's generous with his kids. He's generous with strangers. He's just great. I mean, he's very thankful for his lot in life, and he reflects that. So, as you guys all know, I'm a big golfer. So it's very hard to get on at Riviera Country Club. It's a very exclusive club. But over the years, I normally got to play once a year there because the Lakers have their tournament there, their charity tournament there. So years ago, 3-4 years ago, I'm playing in the charity tournament. And if you play at Riviera, you got to take a caddy. And these guys have interesting perspectives because they're caddying for famous people from the time they get there until the time they go home. You know, a lot of these guys caddied for OJ. A lot of these guys caddy for big-time actors, you know. And so I kind of hit it off with this caddy, and his name was Chris. And I said, all right, Chris, honest answer to this question. Who's the most generous guy you ever caddied for? He goes, easy answer, and it's not close. And I go, okay, I want to guess. But you got to give me some hints. I go, actor, athlete, or other. He goes, in the world of athletes, in the NFL world. And I said, okay. Is it an owner? He said, yes. I said, does Stan Kroenke play golf out here? He goes, no. He said, it is easily. And he said, when this guy pulls into the parking lot, the caddies fight to see who gets his bag. He goes, it's Jim Irsay of the Colts. he said, and so I have a buddy of mine who is a news anchor in Indianapolis. And he has been for 25 years. A guy named Scott Swan. Shout out. And so I have lunch with Scott every year when I go back. And we went to high school together. So I go back and I tell Scott that story. And he goes, he's famous for it. He said he's a troubled soul.
I was going to say he had a lot of very public issues with alcohol.
And more than alcohol, too. I mean, he had addiction issues.
Oh, yeah. I believe painkillers, correct?
Had tried to help some homeless person on the street. This person turned dead. I mean, he's not he's not without fault by any means. He fought addiction issues his whole life. But what Swanee told me was that he's the type of guy that if he's walking down the street, he always carried with him a roll of $100 bills. And if he saw somebody who was struggling or saw someone who was homeless, he would always wad up a few of them, stick them in their hands, and say, have a great day. Wow. He was just one of these people that, for whatever reason, he was very thankful for his lot in life, and he wanted to pass it on. For all his faults and all his issues. I'm not trying to make this guy out to be a saint. He absolutely was not. Jim Irsay died last night, unexpectedly. Some people fear that he may have fallen back into addiction. Nobody knows. He was 65. But
well, I mean, there was also, I'm not trying to speculate about the cause of death, but he spent an awfully long time really doing damage to his body.
Right.
And that can just at some point catch up to you.
Jim at 65 very well would have been more like 85 on another person.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But I wanted to mention that story today because I thought it was interesting because those caddies, those golf caddies, are basically they're working on tips.
Yeah.
You know, they may be getting like a minimum wage hourly salary. But I said, so what do you mean generous? He goes, if you read a putt for him, and it doesn't even have to go in, it can be close. He slips you $100. He goes, I caddied once for Mr. Irsay, and at the end of it, I had $2,700.
It's like in Goodfellas when the first scene you see Jimmy Conway in that underground poker card game, he's like, gave $20 just for keeping the ice cubes cold.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy's just throwing around bills.
That was Jim Irsay. So I wanted to pass that story on and say, hail, fellow, well met. There are a lot of rich people who aren't generous. Yeah. There are a lot of people who are. This guy was apparently the gold standard. Like, gave away hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on a daily basis. He was an NFL owner, so he's probably a billionaire. He had the money, but good for him that he gave it to others. And and that's why you're seeing a reaction like Peyton Manning has issued statements. The Colts are talking about how devastated they are. It's because when this guy walked into a room, everybody went, who's he going to help today?
Well, it's
good for him.
It's not apples to apples, but like I remember hearing all the time about Ron Artest and like Malice in the Palace.
Same thing.
And a lot of public issues before that. And everything you ever heard was he is a really at heart sweet guy. He needs help.
Right. And matter of fact, a couple stories about him, who now goes, I think, by Meta World Peace still. I'm not sure. He changed the name a couple times. He won one ring as a player. He bounced around to 5 or 6 different teams. He won one ring. He auctioned it off for mental health awareness.
I did a story for ESPN.com, like a profile that I wrote about then Ron auctioning off that ring and why he wanted to, and sort of his time from entering the league, very troubled, very turbulent, to where he was with the Lakers.
His most famous probably game was the Malice in the Palace game that you mentioned, where a guy threw a drink on him. He was lying on the scorer's table. Guy threw a drink on him. He lost his head, stormed into the stands, and started beating the guy up.
Actually, the wrong guy.
The guy that threw the drink is a guy named John Green, and now the two of them together do joint appearances. They did one with us to talk about forgiveness.
Yeah.
And, so that's...
He's a great... honestly, man, Meta's a great guy. He's a really good dude.
All right, coming up next, Sports Graffiti. 877-710-ESPN. 877-710-3776. You can talk about anything that we've talked about, or you can go off the board. Bring up anything you want. Momo's going to join us at 2:15 from New York. She was at the game last night. It's Andy's game today. Laura, in Game of Games, has won 4 games in a row. I was once leading her 6-1 in Game of Games. It's now 6-5, and she goes for 5 in a row today. All right, Andy, you got to read something, right?
if you can, I was trying to
repeat in my ear.
He was
what I
trying
mean.
to get your
Legends
attention.
Attic, please.
Legends Attic. Funny you should ask, Laura. Celebrate 1 year of Legends Attic with Travis and DeMarco live May 30th. Iconic legends like Steve Sachs, Jaime Jarrín, Peter O'Malley, Legends Attic giveaways, live art with Dave Hobrecht, and you can see the ball from Freddie Freeman's unforgettable Game 1 Grand Slam. It's all happening at Legends Attic, 619 West Foothill Boulevard in Claremont. I've been. It's really cool. Tickets at legensaddict.com.
Sports Graffiti coming up next. 2 lines.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill?
It's just better for you.
Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their 1-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Jarrín, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrecht. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsaddict.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
I did 11 and a half.
Right, I did 10 and a half. That's
and then I eventually had heart failure, so how did it all work out?
Heart failure all for the bit.
The LA Afternoon Takeover. That's Sedano and Cap.
On 710 ESPN.
All right, listen up. Whether you're out for a walk, hitting the gym, or just tackling your day, in this LA heat, chafing is no joke. Take my word for it. That's why you need Highlands Chafing Relief. This stuff is a game changer. Goes on like a cream, dries like a powder, and stays put even through sweat and water. No greasy mess, just all-day protection. If you've already got some chafing, Highlands soothes it fast with aloe, shea butter, and tea tree oil. Don't let chafing slow you down. Grab Highlands Chafing Relief at Walmart or Target right now.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. If you're ready to upgrade your driving experience, you gotta go and check out what's happening at Cadillac and their incredible new lineup of state-of-the-art EVs, sedans, and SUVs. And hey, look, there's no better place to experience the luxury of Cadillac than at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Check out Cadillac of Beverly Hills and their beautiful showroom at 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And check them out on the web at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
And it is 1 o'clock in the Southland on the biggest show on the radio, Mason in Ireland. And it's time for Let's Talk About It on Sports Graffiti like we do every day at this time. Sponsored by our friends at BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout today for 10% off your first month of therapy. BetterHelp.com/timeout. Now let's do it. Let's talk about it on Sports Graffiti on Mason in Ireland.
All right, Sports Graffiti time. You can talk about absolutely anything you want. And in our leadoff spot is Jason. Hi, Jason. You're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Good afternoon, boys. So when SGA won the MVP, the first thing I thought of was, I can't believe the Clippers traded him for Paul George if he's not even there. After watching these playoffs, did Sacramento fumble trading Tyrese Halliburton and not building around him? De'Aaron Fox is not even there.
It's a great question, Jason. We're going to get into SGA a little bit later. Andy, I thought that trade is one of the rare trades. It was Domantas Sabonis going from Indiana to Sacramento and Tyrese Halliburton going from Sacramento to Indiana. I thought it was it very much like the Alex Caruso, Josh Giddey trade. It was a trade that worked perfectly for both teams.
Yeah, I Domantas Sabonis is really good, and I hold Sacramento's lack of success more against the Kings front office and the ownership than anything Sabonis is doing wrong. I imagine that if Halliburton had stayed in Sacramento, you'd be dealing with most of the exact same problems. It's a badly run franchise.
David, you're on Sports Graffiti. David, what do you got?
Hi, I'm wondering, of all the NBA teams that did not make the playoffs this year, which one do you think will make it the furthest next year? The Spurs, Mavs, Suns, Sixers, or someone else?
Spurs.
Assuming Wemby can come back from the deep vein thrombosis looking like Wemby, yeah, that's the right answer.
And you heard it here first. There is a better than decent chance they're going to have Giannis on their roster next year. They have the most attractive package of assets. If they get him, and on one team, they have Wemby, Giannis, and De'Aaron Fox, not only do I think they'll make the playoffs, I think they'll be top 4.
Yeah, I think Houston could maybe give them a run for their money when it comes to assets. Houston's got a lot of picks and a lot of good young players, but I think San Antonio, assuming Giannis wants to be moved, they're definitely in that mix.
And they have a ton of draft picks they can put in that deal.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, you're on Sports Graffiti. Mike, what do you got?
Hey, what I got is a story about when I grew up in Ireland, Indiana, which is a small farm town in southern Indiana.
Wait a minute. Ireland like my last name?
Ireland like your last name.
Okay.
The high school had 164 students. Their team was the Spuds, the Ireland Spuds. The JV team was the Chips. The freshman team was the Fries. And in 1963, Ireland, just like in the movie Hoosiers, Ireland went to the Sweet 16, and that entire town went absolutely batty over this team. And they had a coach that was named Pete Gill, who was just like Norman Dale from Hoosiers, who promised the town, after they won the sectional, they beat Springs Valley, the mighty Blackhawks of Springs Valley, which turned out to be years later Larry Bird's high school. They beat them 20-19 in the final. And
no shot clock in those years.
Quite the barn burner.
Hey, Mike, that's a great story.
20-19.
That is a great.
It's not even a high football score.
Because Hoosiers is based on a team called Milan, I think, that was like a small school that made it all the way to the state championship game and then won it. All right, let's go to Russ. Hey, Russ, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead, Russ.
Hey, good afternoon, young man. John, the other day you said that you think the Trojans are a 10-win team coming up in the Big Ten. Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah.
Because with the quarterback room, like, how do you feel about that? Like, the athletes are there on offense. Did we improve on defense at all?
Well, I'm basing my opinion that you're going to improve on defense because, Andy, you have a defensive coordinator for the first time that knows what he's doing. D'Anton Lynn was there last year. I think he's got a year under his belt now. And when he was the defensive coordinator at UCLA, we were the best defense in the country. Now he's got USC money and USC athletes. Now here's their schedule, okay? Montana State, that's a win. Georgia Southern, that's a win. At Purdue, that's a win. Michigan State at USC, that's a win. They're 4-0. At Illinois. Illinois is good, but I think they could win it. Let's say 5-0. Michigan at USC, let's say they lose, okay? 5-1 after at the halfway point of the season. And then you look at the second half of the season. At Notre Dame, let's say they lose that, 5-2. At Nebraska, I think is a win, 6-2. Northwestern at the Coliseum,
that better
7-2. Iowa at the Coliseum, 8-2. At Oregon,
that's tough.
That
is tough.
That's tough.
Oregon went to the championship game last year.
Right, but
got boat raced, but they still won.
All right, so let's say they lose at 8-3. UCLA at the Coliseum, 9-3. All of a sudden, all they need to do, if they win all the games they're favored in, is upset one team. So that's what I base it on. I think they have a real chance to have a 10-win season. Robert, you're on Sports Graffiti. Robert, what do you got?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
I've been a lifelong Dodger fan since before I can talk or walk, and I've never disagreed with you more, John, on this Alex Bregman thing you mentioned.
Okay.
Your examples of guys going from one rival team to another is ridiculous. Free agent athletes don't care about rivalries like fans do. I'm thinking of when the Yankees hired Carlos Beltran onto their coaching staff. He had to atone for his sins, which he did, and essentially Aaron Judge had to sign off on it because, of course, before the Astros screwed the Dodgers, they screwed the Yankees. Beltran, Justin Verlander, they later said, yeah, you know what, we did something wrong, we shouldn't have done it, and so on. Alex Bregman has made no such apology. He has been arrogant and unhumble. I would sooner watch the WNBA during the summer than accept the Dodgers putting that douchebag on their team. I want no part of it, not one part.
I don't know why the WNBA had to take strays and all
Robert,
this.
you have the exact same position as Greg Bergman. He feels exactly the same way you do. What I would argue is close game in the playoffs. Bregman hits a come-from-behind game-winning homer. You're not going to celebrate? Oh, we hung up on him? Yeah, I just think that as soon as he hits a home run to win a big game, it's over. That's it. Here's Travis. Travis, you're on Sports Graffiti. What do you got?
Good afternoon. First off, I want to say thanks for that little Jim Irsay story, John. That was actually really nice on a day like today.
Good.
Secondly, I want to talk about the MLB is better off with a floor than a cap, but it just will never happen because the players don't
agree.
The players don't want a cap, and the owners will never allow a floor. But the main thing I want to push back on you, John, is you mentioned something last week about the Angels fans being like, I don't know, top 10 in attendance or whatever, and you're saying just stop going, you know. But us A's fans, we stopped going. And look what happened. The other 29 teams turned around and said, well, it's not an owner problem. You guys have a terrible fan base and this and that. So I don't blame the Angels fans for going, and it's a much cheaper product if you want to go watch baseball than to go see the Dodgers. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. Have a good day, guys.
All right, thanks, man. I don't begrudge. If you're an Angel fan, my mom's a big Angel fan. Go Bill McDonald, huge Angel fan. If you're an Angel fan, you want to go to the games, go to the games. My point is, unless you give Artie Moreno a reason to sell, he's not selling.
I mean,
Dodger fans, Andy, drove Frank McCourt out of the ownership suite.
Right.
The fans did that.
Well, it became such a money issue that at that point the league got involved. Like, you're not just messing with the Dodgers' money. At that point, a team like the Dodgers, you're messing with the league's money. So that's where the league was like, okay, you got to go. You have to go.
Right. A couple more here. Let's get Keith in here. Hey, Keith, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead, Keith.
Hey, guys. Good afternoon. I've got a similar story to the story that came out of Pittsburgh with the guy falling off the, out of the stadium. My son played college golf years ago, and he went to the college championship. Their team went to the college championship in Arizona, and he had gotten a hole-in-one that day by playing on the golf course and whatnot. But a plainclothes officer saw him buy beer for his friend, who we didn't even know was 21, and he gave him a ticket. And he ended up, long story short, he ended up having to, go before a judge who ended up giving him an ankle bracelet for 3 months and 3 months of AA meetings
and probation and all that stuff. Yeah. See, to me, Keith, that sounds like overregulation. It sounds like more than they needed to do. In my personal opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe they wanted to make an example out of your son. I think you give him a very stern warning and he never does it again. What do you think?
I think that's something.
Well, I thought the same thing, but at the same time, the judge was actually being lenient, as it turns out, because the judge didn't know that was a thing to give to buy beers for your buddies after you get a hole-in-one, and he had to put he put us on hold during the because this was a phone call, a jury phone call,
right?
And they put us on hold, and the judge came back and said he asked the bailiff, and the bailiff said, "Yeah, that was a thing that's kind of customary in golf." And so the judge acted like he was doing him a favor.
All right, thanks, Keith, for the phone call. I just think that was so. This guy broke his neck, he broke his back. His friend, who he's at the game with, obviously was traumatized by it too. And now you're going to throw the book at the friend because he bought him two beers?
They're not throwing the book at him. My guess is it's going to be a pretty light misdemeanor. I don't think it's necessary. I imagine, too, this wasn't what they expected heading into it. My guess is they were reviewing footage to try to get a better idea of what was going on. and then they notice this in the footage, and the police are like, well, this guy is breaking the law. Again, I don't think, this. It's not like this guy's going to go inside for it, but if you're asking me if it's necessary, the answer is no.
Yeah, I agree with that part of your argument. All right, coming up next, remember, Andy, a couple of days ago when you were here, we talked about the NFL being supportive of flag football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The reaction to that by NFL players has been weird. I'll explain coming up next. Mason and Ireland, Andy Kamenetsky in for Mase, ESPN LA.
Double down with Cappy at the $10,000 blackjack tournament, June 6th, Park West Bicycle Casino. Sedano and Cap, I love the bike, by the way. Sedano and Cap will broadcast live from 3 to 6 p.m. Join us, check in for the tournament. Say double down with Cappy at the player rewards desk for free entry into the tournament. Reserve your spot now, ESPNLA.com.
Saturday, it's East versus West as LAFC heads to Canada to take on CF Montreal.
Oh, it's a goal lasso! A bomb from Denis Bouanga has tied it up!
LAFC is riding a 7-match unbeaten run and look to continue their climb up the Western Conference table. Can the black and gold keep the streak alive in Quebec? Catch every minute of the action. Kickoff at 4:30 p.m. Pre-game starts at 4. LAFC, CF Montreal. Saturday on the ESPN LA app.
Be sure to catch Let's Talk About It on Sports Graffiti, weekday afternoons at 1 p.m. on Mason and Ireland. Sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout today for 10% off your first month of therapy. BetterHelp.com/timeout.
Hey, everybody, it's Cap, and I want to talk to you for just a minute about Prize Picks, my absolute favorite app. Download the Prize Picks app, use my code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y, make a $5 play, get a $50 bonus. You've heard that before, but let's talk about this. Now that the basketball season is over and we're into the postseason, do you want to go VIP style to the championship? Would you like to do that? I'm sure you would. Basketball's championship series is not that far away. Every lineup you make on Prize Picks will enter you in the Takes Two ticket sweepstakes. It's on right now.
Hey, guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the player's reward desk, and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
Here. When the draft clock is ticking, you've got to pick the best talent, regardless of position, to fit your team's needs. Well, if you're hiring for your business, you want to find the best talent for any of your roles. That's why you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology hustles to find qualified candidates for your job immediately. And if you see a standout candidate, ZipRecruiter lets you personally invite them to apply. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/sports. That's ZipRecruiter.com/sports.
And it is the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, your Thursday afternoon. Andy sitting in for Mase. As I like to say and remind you, doesn't it feel good to be a P1, Jack? More of the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, continues on 7:10 a.m. and always on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Is this Bruno?
Yeah, and Anderson Paak.
Yeah.
Silk Sonic.
Silk Sonic, which just swept the Grammys a couple of years ago. Mason and Ireland, happy to have you with us. I'm John Ireland. Andy Kamenetsky sitting in for Mace. Laura Romo's here. Brian Cohen is here. And the other day, Andy, when you were here, you and I talked about how flag football has been kind of approved by the NFL.
Yeah.
They're going to, flag football is coming to the Olympics, and it's going to start in 2028 when the Olympics are here in LA. And they've allowed NFL players, if they so desire, to play in the Olympics. Now, some players are all over this. Justin Jefferson, generally considered, him and his old college teammate Jamar Chase are generally considered the two best wide receivers in the NFL. Jefferson can't believe he might be able to play in the Olympics. Here's Justin.
To be honest, I'm just a loss of words. It's just seeing the amount of kids that are really involved in this sport, seeing the women and men being involved, and seeing it now being on a global stage is something that's so special. Even though it's 3 years down the line, and then they're still planning and who's going to be on the team and all, but just to think about the chances of playing in the Olympics and getting a gold medal is a dream.
All right, so he's into it.
Yep.
It sounds like he's signed him up.
Yep.
He might be one of our wide receivers. Okay. Then there's A.J. Brown of the Eagles, who just won the Super Bowl with Philadelphia. He gets right to the point here. And the question I'm going to ask you after you listen to this is, isn't A.J. Brown kind of right? Here he is.
So I heard the Olympics is during camp. Yeah, so no. Yeah, so that would be tough. That would be tough, but hopefully that goes through, and I think that would be fun just to compete, and me personally, no, but because of camp, and, you guys will be complaining about A.J. Brown is not at camp, and so will the fans be, so I'm going to focus, I'm going to keep the main thing, as Jay said.
That's a LeBron line. LeBron always says that no matter what, the reason he works out every day and the reason he stays really good at basketball is if he gets bad at basketball, everything else goes away. Yep. He says, I keep the main thing. Now, point of clarification here. The Olympics are in July and August. Some teams, not all of them, some teams you could play in the Olympics and still get to camp on time. Most teams would bleed into camp.
Right.
But isn't A.J. Brown having a moment of honesty here? If Puka Nacua, who's right now, or Devontae Adams, who are the two star receivers for the Rams, if they said, hey, guys, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I'm going to go try and win a gold medal in the Olympics. I have a fond place in my heart for the Olympics. I'd be okay with it, but I think most Ram fans would say, no, man, get your butt in camp.
100%. I mean, we see this all the time when NBA players with the Olympics. Like, I will never begrudge a Laker who wants to. Lakers are my favorite NBA team. They're my favorite team, period. I will never begrudge a player from the Lakers who wants to play in the Olympics. I get it. I understand why. If you're asking me, do I want any Lakers playing in it? The answer is hell no. For the most part, I do not want them in it because of the chance of injury. It's not often, but ask Paul George. It can happen. Or the idea of, I know Rui even had like a minor injury when he was playing with Japan. I think it got him off to a slow start in training camp on the heels of those Olympics. Like, I personally don't want my Lakers. And that being said, though, there can be special cases. I like that there's Eurobasket going on this summer and that Luka's going to play in it, because Luka's one of those guys that you're always thinking, will he be in shape? Will he be in shape?
This will force him to stay in shape.
I think this is actually great for the Lakers and Luka, but that's a very specific situation. For the most part, no, I don't want Lakers playing in it.
Brian Cohen, you're a big Charger fan. If Justin Herbert and Derwin James both said, guys, we're going to be late for camp because we're going to go try and win a gold medal. How do you feel?
I would be stoked, honestly. I'm all about it. I feel like they should go do it, especially being the first time, and then coming back to the team if they, when they win gold, let's be real.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. I feel like.
Well, here's some of it, too, to be totally honest, or maybe I'm speaking for myself, but I'm probably speaking for a lot of other fans. A lot of this gets down to how much do you care about the Olympics? Like, if I'm going full disclosure,
I always have.
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm with Andy. I don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah, Mason and I have both. Well, Mason is
Oh, he's worked the Olympics.
He's worked 8 different Olympics.
Right.
So he's the biggest. Mace is the biggest Olympics fan here, and probably because I've been with him so long, I've kind of fallen in love with it, and I kind of root for him because he gets to go to all these places and do this stuff.
That's part of it for me. Is like I care way more about the Lakers' success than I do about Team USA's success. So to me, I care much more about every Laker being in the perfect physical health place heading into a season than I care about Team USA winning the gold. Like, it's not even close.
Laura, you don't care about the Olympics?
I don't, and I would rather have all the Rams players be at camp than be at the Olympics because we've seen players that skip camp and then they have issues, when they play. So I'd rather you be at camp.
I think what Laura just said, the 15 seconds Laura was just talking, is how the majority of NFL fans would feel.
Oh, absolutely.
I just think that absolutely plays into it. All right, at the top of the show, we talked about the Eastern Conference Finals Game 1 last night, which for my money might have been one of the 10 best basketball games I've ever seen.
So good.
It was a historic comeback by Indiana. They were down 14 with 2.5 minutes to go. They were down 9 with 53 seconds left and sent the game to overtime. It just is... a stunning comeback. Tonight is Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals, and there is a drumbeat that is getting louder and louder and louder that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is getting a kiss from the refs. We'll get into that coming up. He's going to get his MVP award tonight in front of the fans in Oklahoma City. He is a great player. Does he get help from the referees? We'll get into that next. Andy Kamenetsky and for Mase, I'm John Ireland. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
Hey, do you know a high school senior who's a leader, scholar, and an athlete? Nominate them for the ESPN LA All-Star Student presented by Rotolo Chevrolet. Got 5 winners, $500 scholarships, VIP treatment at our All-Star Friday event. Nominate your All-Star student today at ESPNLA.com. Thanks to Rotolo Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in the West region. In California for 13 years in a row. Come see what the fun is all about.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
Back tomorrow at 9 a.m. after Clinton and Friends.
Can we get you a suit that fits?
Yeah, probably.
Like, what if I can get you a trade?
Ooh. Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I need
does it
some
have
new
to be
suits.
whatever Chris wants in the suit? So could it be?
I'm going to have my tailor do a suit. I can pick out the lining inside.
There you go.
You can pick out.
Imagine if it's just like, how
the
my
little faces of Morales.
Well, Raj Kaswani in Sherman Oaks, right now from where we used to work, he does all my suits since I've been 21. What if my face is the lining of your suit?
I'm okay with that.
Oh, my God.
I'm okay with that. I get to pick what the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But
Yeah.
inside, it's my
it's all
face.
him.
Keep it buttoned, DeMarco. It'll be fine. We'll keep it buttoned
summer.
up all the time.
You got to think summer, though. You may have to.
Yeah, you can have a vest,
You
and
may have
I'm the
to
lining on the
take
vest,
it off.
too.
You know what I'm saying? Might come with some conversation. Who's this guy?
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m.
It's Travis and DeMarco
on 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Cap. Inheriting a home can be overwhelming, but Seller's Advantage makes it easy. One customer shared, quote, inheriting a home felt like too much work. Seller's Advantage gave us a reasonable offer, handled everything, and closed in 3 weeks. I highly recommend them. Skip repairs and headaches. Call Seller's Advantage today at 888-390-AS-IS or visit sellersadvantage.com for your free cash offer.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Waba Grill is an LA original, so we've got to keep it real. Real fresh with our Asian-inspired menu that's grilled to order every time.
Pick me up and never put me down.
Real quality with our marinated proteins like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Enjoy.
Hey guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive. in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk, and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
So if you're injured in an accident, the first name, the first thought, the first call should be Jacob. Jacob, Jacob, Jacob. The consultation is free. That's right. Free. I told you. Gratis. Don't wait. Call Jacob 24 hours a day at 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. Call him 844-24-JACOB or visit him online at calljacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
And it is Mason and Ireland, your Thursday afternoon. I'm just going to tease this. Just a little tease. There's a big private event coming for Mason and Ireland fans this summer. Keep listening for details. You can press the flesh and be part of something that's never happened before. ... Of course, I mean, first they need to sign those new contracts. But anyway, Mason and Ireland continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
All right, today it's Andy Kamenetsky in Ireland as we get you ready for Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals tonight. We're carrying that game, right, Laura?
Yes.
Sedano and Kappa lead right up to it. And Sedano is actually part of that broadcast. It's Mark Kestisher, PJ Carlissimo, and George does the sidelines. So that's all coming your way later today. And SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, is going to get his MVP award in front of his hometown fans. I always think that's really cool when a guy wins MVP and they give it to him there. And he's a great guy, Shea, and he's an unbelievable player. But, Andy, this drumbeat is getting louder and louder. There are a lot of people around the league. Chris Finch, the Minnesota coach, has said as much.
Well, he's a little biased.
But Bill Simmons and Zach Lowe are not.
Sure.
And those guys are just basketball junkies.
Sure.
Zach and Bill did a podcast yesterday, and listen to what Bill is saying about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
I feel like Shea is getting this whistle that nobody else in the playoffs is getting, where there's these little touch fouls or these bumps where you're not even sure who initiated the bumps, and he's just getting it. If you're Minnesota, the one thing you're going to come out of the game is we have to get a better whistle on these SGA calls.
Well, they were furious the whole game. I mean, they were furious going into the game, which is always kind of a bad sign. If you're already like on edge about it, it's like it feels like you just got to chill out a little bit, accept that it's going to be bad. But yeah, I'm sure some clips will be sent to the league office between games 1 and 2.
Deservedly.
Andy, is Bill Simmons right? Is SGA getting a friendly whistle, let's say more than Ant-Man or Randall or any of the Wolves?
I guess he is. I also think he does more things that would get him the whistle in the first place. I think he drives more than those guys and maybe more than any player still in the playoffs. He drives arguably as much or more than any player in the league. I'm looking to try to find out the exact numbers, but I know he is among the most frequent drivers in the entire league. He is very good at contorting his body, manipulating himself for fouls. He's doing the same thing that a lot of these guys look to do. And after a while, if that's your reputation, you get those calls. But there are a lot. I mean, Luka averaged 9 free throws a game during the Lakers' brief run in the playoffs. Like, there's a lot of guys who get to the line.
You kind of took me where I wanted to go. Here's one thing I've learned from 30 years of working in the NBA, and you've been working almost as long as I have in the league. Star players, elite star MVP caliber players like Shea.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking Kobe, LeBron, Shaq, Giannis, those type of dudes. I'm going to say this as plainly as I can. Either get fouled or commit a foul on almost every play.
Yeah.
On almost every single play. Because think about it. You couldn't guard Michael Jordan. He was too good. You couldn't guard Kobe Bryant. He's too good. So what does the defender do? Grabs, holds, cheats, does what you can just to try and slow him down. And the refs can't, Andy, blow a whistle on every single play. So you hit the nail on the head here. If I'm a star player like Shea is, the thing I just keep saying in my head over and over and over again is attack, attack, attack.
Well, to put this in perspective, I'm looking up right now. In the playoffs, Shea averages 20.2 drives per game. Anthony Edwards, 16.2. Like, and as you start going further down the line, you're going to find fewer and fewer players in that series who come even close to it. I realize drives are not the only thing that can lead to getting to the line, but it is a big part of it. He drives relentlessly. He does it all the time.
So I've seen LeBron get fouled in a game 10 to 15 times and it not be called at all. And one of the things LeBron has done as he's gotten older is he realizes, okay, I'm not getting calls. I'm just going to shoot threes. I'm going to back out and try and manage the whistles that I'm getting. Smart players do that. Shea is just, you know what? I'm going to put my head down and drive to the basket. Watch tonight. Watch how many times he puts his head down, drives to the basket, and dares them not to foul him.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the defense can't stop him, so they do foul him. I would actually argue that he could get more whistles than he's getting now.
Everybody, to your point when you were saying about LeBron, and we've seen this with Shaq, we saw this with Kobe, we see this with all players. Everybody could get to the line more if you called everything letter of the law. But, like, this is also the reputation that Shea has built up over, like, a few seasons of nonstop driving. Like, after a while, you build your reputation as a guy that drives all the time, drives into contact. You get those whistles. And the thing that I like about Shea, though, as opposed to someone like James Harden, who I think was much more of a foul merchant, Harden did not drive as much as Shea. Like, it felt to me
what he would do is he would jump into your arms.
And he would also hang around the three-point line. It felt like looking to just try to get you to hit your hand or hit his hand while he was along the arc. I just love the way Shea plays, too, like stylistically. Like, there's a joy to it. There's a fun to the way he plays. Like, there's an excitement to the way he plays. If you're an old school fan, too, the guy lives in the mid-range. Like, the area that everyone says is gone and that the analytic geeks all took out of the game, he lives in that area. I just think he's a really fun player to watch.
Okay, while we're talking about Shea, you and I have studied the league for years before we were even into it. It's our favorite sport. We're both super into it. All right? So I want you to look at this big picture.
Sure.
All right? When the Clippers traded Shea, here's the terms of that trade. They traded Shea, Danilo Gallinari, who's a former first-round pick, a good one.
Well, I mean, that was salary filler, but yes.
4 unprotected first-round picks, a 5th lottery-protected first-round pick, and 2 pick swaps. In other words, in 23 and 25, wherever the Clippers pick is, if it's better than the Thunder, OKC can take it.
Yeah.
And because OKC had the best record in the league this year, they'll probably take both. They took it in 23, they'll take it again in 25. All right, so they'll get to pick higher. In return, Oklahoma City got Paul George, one player.
The Clippers got Paul George.
Clippers got Paul George, one player. Now, to be fair to the Clippers,
I was going to say, you have to say this.
They really got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard because
it is
Kawhi Leonard
disingenuous to frame the trade as anything other than you got both guys.
Right. Because, and this is the way Doc Rivers sold Steve Ballmer on it. He said, we're not just getting Paul George. We're getting Paul George with Kawhi Leonard, and it makes us one of the favorites in the West. And we have to, as good as Shea is, we have to do it. But here's my question, Andy. Just based on the terms of this trade, okay? So take all the ancillary stuff out. Take the Kawhi Leonard element out of it. Paul George for 2 players, Shea and Gallinari, 5 first-round picks and 2 pick swaps. Is that the worst trade in NBA history? The most lopsided trade in NBA history?
Answer now or when we come back?
No, now.
Not even close. It's not even remotely close.
What's worse?
Oh, God, the trade where Kareem ended up with the Lakers, that was a way worse trade. Trading the draft rights of Robert Traylor for Dirk, or trading
Dirk for Tractor Trailer.
For Tractor Trailer.
But that was 1-for-1.
Dirk ended up Dirk Nowitzki. Robert Traylor ended up Robert Traylor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's way worse. The trade that the Celtics did for, or the Nets did to get KG, Paul Pierce, Jason Terry. Like
this is comparable because there were a bunch of picks involved in that too.
Way worse.
The Celtics once got Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish in exchange for Joe Barry Carroll.
I knew we were going to be talking about this, so I looked this up.
Yeah.
This is not even close. Like, Paul George made 1 All-NBA team, made 3 All-Star teams with the Clippers. He helped get the Clippers to the Western Conference Finals, which feels like a low bar, whatever. Furthest the Clippers have ever gone. It's not even in the ballpark of some of those other bad trades.
Yeah, for me, I think it's in the conversation because it's Shea. And if Shea stays in Oklahoma City for another 10 years and he's first-team All-NBA for 8 of the 10, and Paul George will be out of the league, and you got 5 number 1 picks and 2 pick swaps, I can't think of a more lopsided trade off the top of my head. I'm sure there are.
I'm telling you, do a Google search. There are way, way worse. If you want to say that this is one of the most disappointing trades, absolutely. Because the Clippers expected getting Paul George, getting Kawhi, we're going to get to at least a couple finals, win a championship, and that curse hasn't happened. But, I mean, I know it is easy and even fun to bag on Paul George for a lot of Laker fans. Like, this is nowhere close to some of those other bad trades.
All right, coming up next, we'll get Brian in here. We'll get Laura in here. A little What's Up, Fool. We'll do that next. Andy in for Mase, Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA.
Sedano and Cap.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their 1-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
Would you guys like Cooper Flag? Hey, let me ask you a question. How'd you guys like Luka last year? We liked him a lot. He was great.
Hey,
how would you guys like Cooper Flag?
The match
Would you like that? How about this? Bring, bring. Hey, Rob. Hey, it's Nico. Hey, how about this? Would you like to have Cooper Flag? We'll take Austin Reeves off your hand. How about that? Is that okay?
The LA Afternoon Takeover. That's Sedano and Cap.
On 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their 1-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? With a new owner, fresh renovations, and upgraded amenities, it's a whole new way to experience LA's premier table game casino. From poker, blackjack, ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Baccarat, they've got all the action for ESPN LA listeners. Brand new players who sign up for their Players Reward get $30 in match play. Just say, Cappy sent me to get $30 in match play. Park West Bicycle Casino.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGR-001291. GAR-001292. GAR-001298. BSIS license number 1358.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STAPLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text STAPLE to 321-321. That's STAPLE to 321-321.
And it is the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, your Thursday afternoon. Andy sitting in for Mace. As I like to say and remind you, doesn't it feel good to be a P1, Jack? More of the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, continues on 7:10 a.m. and always on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
What's Up, Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's mezcal. Dos Hombres.
By the way, are you watching The Studio on Apple TV?
I'm a couple episodes behind, but I have watched it. Yeah.
Cranston is so good in it. It's
He
like
is funny.
they told him, go as over the top as you want. And he said, really? And he's fantastic in it. All right, Laura, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Brian's actually taking
Oh,
the
Brian, I'm
first one.
sorry.
Take
Go
the first
ahead.
one. Talking about over the top here. Look, I saw this yesterday. I want to get your guys' opinion on the enhanced games. So have you heard about the enhanced games that
No.
have been kind of going around? So apparently it's a sports festival that bills itself on the better than the Olympics because it allows athletes to benefit using performance-enhancing drugs. Not only are they, encouraged, but they're kind of like forced to use PEDs.
Right, all of them are on performance-enhancing
Right,
drugs.
so-
This is it. A. Martinez, the great A. Martinez, who now is the voice of NPR, is a firm believer in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to say we should just let everybody use whatever supplements they want and not test for anything.
I tended to agree.
So this is going to be in Vegas next year, Memorial Day. It's going to include swimming, track and field, and weightlifting.
Weightlifting.
And
Wow, that won't be interesting.
Right. It's all PEDs that are banned from sports but are illegal to actually have. So you can, get them at a GM store or one of those things. Does this
Legal or illegal?
They're
to have?
legal. You can, but they're all banned from sports.
Banned from sports. Gotcha.
Does this interest you at all to kind of see, hey, what can we push the limits here with the weightlifting, with the swimming, with the track and field?
Andy, I don't know if I'll watch, but I'll want to see what the results are.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm interested. I'm up for a freak show. You want to talk about freak shows? The crowd at the Enhanced Olympics is going to be insane. You want to talk about people watching? That is going to be a bunch of roided out freaks. Don't say the wrong thing to anybody.
Right, yeah, you'll get popped.
Tempers are going to fly.
Yeah, but Brian, when is it?
Next year, Memorial Day in Vegas.
All right, so a year from this month.
God.
Yeah, okay,
Great
good.
location, too.
Good,
Vegas.
good. Yeah, we'll check
What's
it out.
up, fool?
Steroids and alcohol. What can go wrong?
All right, so I saw a really cool On This Day, and John, it kind of goes with the story you sent, so I wanted to merge it together. So on this day in 2003, LeBron James signed a $90 million Nike endorsement deal.
Okay.
And I know you sent over a story that he's getting an honorary award from Ohio State.
Right.
So I wanted to know if you guys can get any award, so any award in any subject, what would you get and what school would you want to get it from?
So if you were getting an honorary degree.
Yes.
Because when you say any award, what Mason would say...
honorary award, yeah.
Yeah, what Mason would say is he wants a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
He can buy that. It's easy.
Yeah, he's trying. Trust me.
Oh.
Do you think Cranston will induct him?
I do not. But I think he might. Brian might. Brian's a really good dude. He might. I take that back. He might. Brian already has one.
It's either him or O'Shea.
I wonder if Shea has one. I think Cube has one.
Cube definitely has one.
All right, an honorary degree from somewhere. I have an actual degree from UCLA. I've always wanted to say I would have an Ivy League degree. So, like, if I could get right now you can major in pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
If I go on, like, Laura's on this amazing run in Game of Games where she's won, like, let's say Laura rattled off 25 wins in a row in Game of Games.
I mean,
I think you should get an honorary degree in pop culture from Harvard. That's what I would take that. I would take an honorary. Now, if it's from like Northridge, I'll let one of the interns go pick it
I
up.
think you're shooting too low with just the Ivy Leagues. I would have mine from Oxford.
Okay.
It's like Oxford,
Rhodes Scholar?
Yes. Oh, I want like an honorary degree in like astrophysics from Oxford. Like if I'm going to get, because most of these honorary degrees, like it's about who you are and like sort of your accomplishments. And LeBron from Ohio State, that's great. I mean, obviously LeBron is incredibly accomplished and he's a big Ohio State guy. But like LeBron did not do the thing to get a degree from Ohio State. So if I'm going to get a degree that I don't truly deserve, I want one that I truly don't deserve.
Well, I think he does. It's a doctorate of public service. You know, he has done a public service.
Brian, would you want one? Would you want an honorary degree from someplace?
I don't know about that. I was kind of thinking the honorary reward kind of part here. What would you do? Give me like the Nobel Peace Prize. So, I don't know. That would be cool. That'd be all time.
For hashtag reasons.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Would you rather, Andy, would you rather have the Nobel Peace Prize or the Presidential Medal of Freedom?
Nobel Peace Prize.
See, one of the coolest things about the Presidential Medal of Freedom is you get to accept your award with the other medal winners.
Yeah, okay.
So one of the coolest pictures I've ever seen is that near the end of President Obama's term, there's a picture in the Oval Office of Vin Scully and Bruce Springsteen.
You're right. That's the right
answer. And the
answer.
caption says, "The Boss with Bruce Springsteen." And Vin, by the way, the guy who was working in the White House, gosh, I wish I could remember his name. It was Josh somebody. Had the honor of, he grew up in L.A. as a Dodger fan. And he had the honor of telling Vin Scully he had just won the president, and he recorded it. So if you go down the rabbit hole on YouTube, you can see this. He goes, Mr. Scully, my name's Josh. I grew up in L.A. as a big Dodger fan. I now work for President Obama in the White House, and I'm calling to tell you that you are a recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. We're going to fly you back here on a certain day. Here's the other people that you're going in with. And Vin
I know.
was speechless.
I know.
Like, he never is speechless.
I know.
And Vin goes,
I've seen this clip.
Well,
it's great.
I don't know how to thank you. I'm overwhelmed. And Josh goes, well, I was honored to be the one who got to tell you this. And we can't. And he goes, I'll be your point person on it. I'll call you and your wife back with details, but just block off the weekend.
You know what?
And he hangs up, and Josh goes, that's one of the coolest things I've ever got to do.
I have changed my mind, John. You have convinced me. It's the Medal of Honor because you get to meet some of these people on top of it. Nobel Peace Prize. I'm in the room with a bunch of eggheads.
Exactly.
Probably
And they're
not
all
that
a bunch of
interesting.
pompous a-holes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You've changed my mind. It's Medal of Freedom.
Good.
What's up, Foo?
All right, guys. So NFL, right after our show yesterday, announced Hard Knocks will be back, HBO and NFL Films.
They say who?
So the training camp, they actually came out with both. So the training camp is going to be the Buffalo Bills this upcoming year.
Okay.
And the in-season is going to feature the NFC East. So the Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants.
Okay, last year, Brian, their in-season was in the AFC North with like Baltimore and Cincinnati and Pittsburgh and Cleveland, and it was fantastic. I couldn't stop watching it, but I interrupted you.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
that was actually part of my question. So last year they did the first ever, the division, the 4 teams, kind of breaks it up, instead of just getting the whole one team, which I liked. What would be more interesting to you here? The Bills in their training camp, Josh Allen coming off the MVP, they're a big storyline. Can they get over the Chiefs? Or, you got the Cowboys, Jerry Jones. You got the Eagles, coming back with the in-season. Giants always.
So if I could only watch one.
Right. Which one would you watch?
I would take the in-season one just because you get 4 for the price of 1. And I'm interested in the Bills. I'm picking the Bills to win the whole thing. Have you looked at their schedule?
It's pretty easy.
Super favorable, and most of their tough games are at home, and Josh Allen's 29. Most great quarterbacks have won the Super Bowl before they turn 30. I'm all in on the Bills this year, but to answer your question, Brian, I'm in on the in-season with the NFC East because I think all those teams are interested, including the Giants, who everybody thinks are going to suck. I was listening to Peter Schrager talk about the Giants the other day on ESPN. He said, anybody who thinks the Giants are going to be like 3-14, they're not. They're going to be more like 8-9.
They are 4 pretty interesting teams in there, between the Commanders being on the rise, the Eagles defending Super Bowl champions, the Giants trying to recover from a lot of things, including letting Saquon Barkley go to the Super Bowl champion Eagles, and the Cowboys are always a train wreck. And, yeah, that's probably the answer, although There's a lot of intrigue with the Bills as far as because they keep coming close. They keep coming up short for what they're looking to do. So just the training camp itself might be interesting, but correct answer.
What's up, Foo?
You got one more?
I have one. Okay, guys. So we talked a lot about LA traffic here. I know the merging situation was a hot topic a few months ago. And Andy and I were having a conversation. Are we nice drivers, a-hole drivers, or just impatient drivers? So I always say I'm the nicest person until you cross me or until you see me in these streets, because if you're going slow, move out of my way. I'm not a nice person. But are you someone who is the honker, the one that check brakes, or are you just an impatient driver?
I'm probably somewhere in between impatient and a-hole. But here's the thing. I'm a late merger, which Mason hates. Like, Mason will keep his eyes on the road. If you try and come in late, he's not letting you in. I'm Steve Mason. I got here first. I'm not letting you in because he hates late mergers.
The world revolves around Mase? What a weird concept.
Well, no, what he would argue is that I'm the a-hole in that scenario because I'm trying to come in late. But here's what I would argue. I do this all the time. It happens all the time when I'm going from the 110 north, okay, to get off on the 10 to come to work here.
Exactly where you are.
It's always an issue to merge.
Yep.
I always merge late, but I also always allow any other late merger to merge in front of me.
So you're paying it forward.
Right. I think if we all did that, it would all work out in the end. If you do what Mason's arguing, you never let anyone in, then all of a sudden it's just going to back everybody up. Just everybody relax. Let people in. If you want to come in late, go for it, and it'll all work out in the end. What do you think?
I am not an aggressive driver in the sense that, I'm honking at everybody. I'm not driving, aggro 60 miles above the speed limit. I do, though, have no patience for people driving slower than they should.
Right.
That's
for inefficiency.
Right.
I'm the same way.
That's the one thing that gets to me. Everything else, I am reasonably chill, reasonably accommodating. I will let you get in front of me, all of that stuff. Just don't drive so slow.
Yeah, it's it's often debated, particularly in Los Angeles. I think if you're a late merger like me, you can do it. You can be that guy, but then you have to let people in that are trying to merge late. That's the price you pay to do it. And I think it all works out in the end. So we'll see. All right, that's it for What's Up, Fool. Now, a little backstory here. We have a listener named Ivan in Monrovia. The other day, Ireland, do you agree with this? And he sends me a list ranking the top 10 sports movies of all time. All right. You and I both love movies. We're very passionate about this. Now, I'm going to state this up front. I'm going to repeat it a couple of times. There are no wrong answers here. It's your list. But I think what this exercise is going to prove, I had top 10 is too many. So I had Brian do a top 5. I had Laura do a top 5. I had Andy do a top 5. And I did a top 5. Here's this guy's. I'll just read his top 5. He gave 10. But here's his top 5. Number 5, Miracle. Number 4, Moneyball. Number 3, Field of Dreams. Number 2, Rocky. And number 1, Remember the Titans. Solid list, Ivan, but it's flawed. And I will explain why as we tackle what actually is or are the top 5 best sports movies ever. That's what this list is. We'll tackle it next, ESPN LA.
The most followed sports radio station in the world.
In the world. That's right. In the world.
710 ESPN.
You know it. Yeah. Tell your friends.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
We're naturally entertaining.
Yes.
LA's mega sports station. 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Cap. Here's the scenario. Your home is flooded and the damage is severe. Now it feels like your insurance company is turning on you. They won't approve a replacement living arrangement and the adjuster leaves you in the lurch. Take a breath and call Avner Gatt, one of Southern California's largest public adjuster firms. Avner Gatt knows how to fight back when your insurance company makes. Hey guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk, and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at espnla.com.
And sign up with promo code JOEQ, JOEQ, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ever feel like the road is out to... Thankfully, Hyundai is always working to ensure it doesn't, with over 130 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
Lease a Hyundai Tucson for only $259 a month, or get 3.99% APR for 72 months. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end June 2nd. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
And it is Mason and Ireland, your Thursday afternoon. I'm just going to tease this. Just a little tease. There's a big private event coming for Mason and Ireland fans this summer. Keep listening for details. You can press the flesh and be part of something that's never happened before. ... Of course, I mean, first they need to sign those new contracts. But anyway, Mason and Ireland continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
All right, today it's Andy Kamenetsky in Ireland. A lot of stuff going on today, but Ivan, one of our listeners in Monrovia, sent us a list. I assume this is his list of the 10 greatest sports movies of all time. We're going to focus on a top 5. His top 5, Miracle, unbelievable movie. Moneyball, great movie. Field of Dreams, solid. Rocky number 2, Remember the Titans number 1. 5 great movies. But I thought, just to show the diversity of how something like this can go, we don't know what the other 3 picked, but we had everybody do 5-1 the best sports movies of all time. I want to see if we come to any type of a consensus. With that in mind, Andy Kamenetsky, your number 5 greatest sports movie of all time is what?
Moneyball.
Okay.
I think it is a great look at both how the business of sports work and also what drives athletes. And you see that both in the Billy Beane character, Brad Pitt, because he had been a failed baseball player.
It is a fantastic movie. It is not in my top 5. Laura Romo, what's your number 5?
These are my favorite, not the best. Coach Carter.
Okay. Samuel, my guy.
Sirs, you are all sirs.
Okay. Brian, what's your number 5?
Major League. The first one.
Great choice.
Yeah. Love it.
Highly under. I played golf today with a guy, my buddy John Sachs from Cleveland. He says might be his favorite sports movie
great
ever.
Movie.
I just watched it the other day.
It's great.
Okay. My number 5, I decided this is so hard.
It is. Look, man, I have an honorable mention.
Yeah, that is a mile long.
Oh, it is. And it's quality.
So what I decided to do was, because it's so hard, I picked 5 different sports.
Okay.
I needed, because just to make it diversified.
Ireland, you and I did something very similar.
Okay. So I needed a baseball movie. Moneyball, Andy, is a fantastic movie. Very easily could be on this. Some people swear, my buddy Eric Johnson says The Natural changed his life.
Natural's a really good movie.
Mason loves Field of Dreams. I'm a big Ron Shelton fan. Big Ron Shelton guy. I put Bull Durham. I think it's the best baseball movie I've seen. Bull Durham is my number 5. What do you think?
I am not a huge Bull Durham fan. I never have been. In part, I'm not a big Costner guy.
Okay.
Ron Shelton, though, is represented in my top 5, and I've interviewed him before. He was really cool.
What's your number 4, Andy?
Major League.
Okay.
Major League makes me so happy every time I watch it. It is so much fun. My favorite baseball movie.
Laura, what's your number 4?
Creed. I didn't go with Rocky, but I went with Creed.
Creed is
very
very
good.
good, and Michael B. Jordan's great in it. Brian,
Love
what's
him.
your number 4?
Bobby Boucher and Waterboy.
Oh,
Yeah.
a classic. An all-timer. Okay. My number 4, I couldn't, in my right mind, make a top 5 greatest sports movie of all time and not include Caddyshack. So my Caddyshack is number 4. I'm a big golfer. It was either that or Tin Cup, and it's better than Tin Cup.
I like Tin Cup better.
I'm going with Caddyshack.
I think
And
Tin Cup
I
is
have
a
no
lot
argument with
better.
you. All right, Andy, what's your number 3?
Hoop Dreams.
Hoop Dreams is number 1 for a lot of people.
Hoop Dreams, it's a 3-ish hour documentary taking place over about 5 years of these 2 inner city kids in Chicago looking to play college basketball, try to get to the NBA, and all the turns in their lives are completely unpredictable. I've never seen a movie that lays out everything it means, like the good, the bad, and the ugly, to try to play sports at a high level from a young age. It's an unbelievable movie.
To your point, whatever year it came out.
It was, I want to say, 94.
Okay. Siskel and Ebert picked it as the best movie of the year, regardless of genre.
It's honestly one of the best movies I've ever seen.
All right, Laura, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is actually Moneyball.
Okay, that's another great movie. By the way, any movie with Robin Wright, even in a small part, is a good movie. Brian, what's your number 3?
Jackie Moon and Semi-Pro.
Semi-Pro.
Yeah. Love that movie.
Yeah.
Everybody love everybody.
My number 3, I needed a football movie, and I couldn't decide between Any Given Sunday, which I love. I just think Oliver Stone, great movie. Al Pacino, Cameron Diaz. I mean, Jamie Foxx is great. Dennis Quaid's great.
It's a bonkers movie.
Yeah, it's all over the map. I decided to go with Remember the Titans,
It's great.
which I think is as bad as well done of a football movie as you could ever
It's
do.
a great movie. I thought about that one. I thought about in football, All the Right Moves. I thought about Friday Night Lights. I thought about the original Longest Yard. Those are all really, really good football movies.
All right, Andy, what is your number 2?
White Men Can't Jump.
Okay.
I love White Men Can't Jump. To me, it's a great movie. I mean, it's hilarious. It captures a very specific basketball culture. They're both deluded athletes. It's hilarious.
I'm going to jump your place in line here, Laura, to tell you that my number 2, I could not decide. I needed a basketball movie. Could not decide between White Men Can't Jump and Hoosiers, both which were great. I literally flipped a coin and it came up Hoosiers, but it just as easily could have been White Men Can't Jump. I think it is awesome.
It's so good.
Because I already had a Shelton movie in there.
Yeah.
I'd go with David Anspaugh, who once came on. We once had Anspaugh come in studio. Then we showed Hoosiers in the quad for free.
That's really cool.
And Anspaugh went down there and did it with us. Laura, what's your number 2?
I actually have Remember the Titans as my number 2.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a great movie.
Brian, what's your number 2?
I want all the iterations of the Bad News Bears. So the new version, the old version, Bad News Bears.
The Billy Bob version?
Yes, Billy Bob Thornton version. I love that movie so much.
You're even going Breaking Training, going to Japan.
He wants all of
when
them.
they go to the Dome,
Yep.
Houston, all of them.
Okay.
As a whole, Bad News Bears.
Yep.
We have reached number 1, and Andy, I think you and I may have the same number 1. What's your number 1?
It's a cliche, but I think it's the correct answer. It's Rocky.
That's mine too.
In part because, forget the idea that Rocky is a great movie and the success and best picture.
More good movies.
Well, it spawned more great movies, but honestly, without Rocky, I don't know if we have more than half, 3/4, all of these other movies we listed. Sports movies have been kind of a dead genre in Hollywood before Rocky.
And all of the Rocky sequels, there isn't really a horrible one. There's some
Slow
ones
down,
that are
John.
iffy.
Slow down.
Which one? Rocky Balboa?
Rocky Balboa is terrible.
I don't know if I'd say terrible. It's not
Rocky
good.
5 is terrible.
Isn't Rocky 5 Rocky Balboa, or is Rocky Balboa
No,
Rocky
those are
6?
they're different movies.
Okay.
Yes, Rocky 5 is the one with Tommy Morrison.
Okay.
Tommy
Gunn.
Gunn. Yeah, it's terrible. Rocky Balboa is
See,
the
I didn't
one.
think that movie was terrible. I didn't think it was good, but I didn't think it was terrible.
Rocky Balboa is the one. It's post Adrian has died, and he's running a restaurant called Adrian's.
Yeah.
It's not good at all.
I think all the Creed movies are good. All right, Laura, what's your number one?
Okay, so like I said, these are my favorite movies.
Yeah.
I know that there are better movies out there, but I grew up with The Sandlot. So The Sandlot for me
It's a really
is
good movie.
my favorite movie.
Yeah, Lindsay loves The Sandlot.
It's a
Sandlot
really
is
fun
my
movie.
favorite
Brian, what's your number one?
Billy Chapel, Yankee Stadium for Love of the Game.
Wow.
With Vince Scully in that
Didn't
movie
see
as
that
well.
coming. Okay, here's my complaint about Vince Scully being in that movie. They gave him a color guy. They gave him Steve Lyons.
Yeah.
Vince Scully doesn't work with a color guy. Come
That is
on.
true. That is, if you're going to bother putting in Vin, keep it accurate. No offense, Steve Lyons is great, but you're correct.
But here's an interesting thing. So, Brian's entire list, okay, 5-1. The only other movie that's on any of our lists is Major League. His 5 was your 4. All right? My 5, you and I, remember the Titans? You and I, Laura and I both doubled up on, and you and I doubled up on Rocky. Your list is probably the most mainstream, Andy. 3 of your 5 were taken by other people. But here's the thing. When you look at all these sports movies, man, this is a hard list to break down. It took me way longer than I thought.
I mean, seriously, I've got an honorable mention that I wrote out that's like 10 to 15
Okay,
movies.
If you could only have one honorable mention, like the hardest one that didn't make your top 5, you only get to pick one. I have one that I don't think any of you will. There's a chance none of you have even seen it.
Okay.
I'll tell you what mine is before you look, because Andy can see you looking at yours. This is one of the. It didn't win anything. Paul Giamatti got nominated for it, but have any of you seen Cinderella Man?
Yeah.
It is Ron Howard, Russell Crowe as Jim Braddock, James J. Braddock, who was so broke he had to wait in food lines for food stamps.
Yeah.
Decided to become a boxer and won the heavyweight
Ron Howard
championship
movie.
of the world. Yeah, it's so good,
It is good.
you can't turn it off.
It is very good.
What? No, okay, so that's
Okay.
my one. What's your one?
Okay, honestly, the hardest one for me to leave off, and I ultimately left it off because I was like, I don't know if enough people have even heard of this movie, and therefore it's going to mean nothing to them on radio. There's a movie called Without Limits. It's about Steve
It's fantastic.
Prefontaine. Billy Crudup plays Steve Prefontaine, the runner.
Okay.
And Donald Sutherland was his coach, Stephen Bowerman. It's
Bill
unbelievable.
Bowerman.
Bill Bowerman, excuse me.
Who started Nike.
Yes.
Making shoes with his wife's waffle iron.
This movie is so good, and about like the difference between competing for the sake of winning versus competing for like the sake of your skill and your craft. It's
All right.
unbelievable.
Without Limits is fantastic. And the only reason I think it doesn't get its due is that exactly at the same time it came out, they
same
came
year.
out with a competing movie
Yeah.
with Jared Leto and
It's not
Arlie
close to as
Ermey,
good.
which isn't as good.
It's nowhere close to
Yeah.
as good.
Laura,
Without Limits barely got released.
Yeah, Laura, what was your toughest one that didn't make your top 5?
Okay, so again, my favorite, not like
Yeah.
acclaimed, but I was obsessed with, and still am. I will watch Love and Basketball. It's
Oh
one of
yeah,
my-
a lot of people like it. Brian,
love
what was
my
the toughest cut for you?
The final season. It's I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a little dark.
It's a little dark. It's
Yeah.
pretty much Hoosiers style, but for baseball kind of deal. The final high school.
The thing
season.
I like about your list is your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all comedies.
Oh yeah, I love
and all funny.
I love sports comedies.
Yeah.
That is what draws me to the
Which
sports
is why
movies.
Sandler's so good. No Happy Gilmore for any of us. Interesting.
Great movie, but not my top.
Yeah, interesting. All right, coming up next, Ramona was in the building. She was in Madison Square Garden last night for what I think is one of the 10 best games I've ever seen. We'll talk with her next. Mason and Ireland, Andy in for Mase, ESPN LA.
It's the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Every weekday morning at 9 a.m.
We were a little delinquent on a Mother's Day gift that we finally punched the ticket on. What'd you do? Apple Watch.
Oh, nice.
Her first?
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute.
And do you sign it as for the kids, too?
No.
Okay, good.
You got a hack for an Apple Watch, Jorge?
Oh, he's got plenty. He's got Apple Watches in the trunk.
No, you can't say it? Okay.
It's Trav and D4 back tomorrow after Clinton and Friends.
On LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
All right. We got a caller who says, I need to buy a car and I need to save money. Well, my friend, I've got one answer for you. The Cerritos Auto Square. It's America's largest auto mall. 24 dealerships, all the top brands, all in one easy location right here in SoCal. And here's the secret. These dealers sell more cars than anyone because they have low prices. And they can actually afford low prices because they sell so many cars. Check it out at CerritosAutosquare.com.
Cerritos Auto Square.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-74...
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their one-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
$607-8808 today. That's 888-607-8808. Or go to JourneyBuildersInc.com.
And it is the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, your Thursday afternoon. Andy sitting in for Mace. As I like to say and remind you, doesn't it feel good to be a P1, Jack? More of the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, continues on 7:10 a.m. and always on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Man, I don't know when I'm gonna do without.
All right, Mason and Ireland, Andy Kamenetsky in for Mace. And last night in Madison Square Garden, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, one of the best games I have ever seen, and the comeback might be the best comeback ever. I rank it up there with the Lakers' comeback against Portland in 2000 in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals when they were down 15 at the start of the fourth quarter. The Pacers, Andy, were down 14, except there were only 2.5 minutes left. And our friend Ramona Shelburne is covering this for ESPN. Momo, first of all, I'm incredibly jealous. Second of all, am I guilty of being prisoner of the moment, hyperbole, to call that maybe one of the 10 best playoff games ever?
I don't know if I go playoff games because the game itself was kind of like ragged up until the last 5 minutes, right? But it was amazing. Like, I was up, okay, you know, they sit you in the rafters up in.
Yeah, Michael and I actually have to do the games from up there where you were sitting.
Oh,
so
wow.
I feel
Okay.
your pain, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like sitting in the 300 level at crypto. Okay? It's
Right,
pretty high.
right.
So we don't feel the same excitement that you do when you're down on the court, okay? So what I would say is we're watching the game. It's like, 6-7 minutes left. It's kind of the Knicks have taken this big lead. And I'm telling you, half of press row decides to get up and go downstairs because you have to get down through the crowd to get back to the
I
bedroom.
thought that's what you would do. That was going to be one of my first questions for you. You hung and you stayed in your seat. Okay.
I stayed in my seat. And I was sitting next to Joe Varden from The Athletic and Sally Jenkins from USA Today and or Washington Post, sorry. And we were just sitting there watching, and I was like, you didn't sense it coming. Like, you didn't feel the Pacers with this big comeback. And right as you're about to, okay, we're wrapping it up, it's kind of a nothing game, they put the Knicks legends on the scoreboard. You see Larry Johnson, Carmelo. They do the look at all of our guys who are back. Like, it was the point of the game when you could kind of exhale. Like, people are kind of like, it's raining outside. Should we leave early? Like, that point of the game, right? That's when this all started. So everybody who's there is kind of like, you could breathe again. It's a 15, 16-point lead, and they put those guys up there. And it was like, first Nembhard hits a three. Didn't think much of it. He hits another one. You're like, okay, it's double digits still. It's like 10 or 11 points. When he hit the third one, you're like, it's getting a little closer. But it didn't have that, real panic thing yet until they started shooting free throws. And this is the thing that got me, John. Karl Anthony Towns goes to the line to shoot free throws. It's still like 7 or 8 points or something.
And that's
but
one of your guys,
uncomfortable.
right? You have a good relationship
Yes.
with Kat. Yeah.
Yeah. And the entire Madison Square Garden. So I think my lead today is like there's no sound, like 18,000 people being absolutely quiet and saying nothing at all, but thinking the same thing, which is, oh my God, right? And you hear everyone in the crowd, like literally people were shushing each other, being like, shh, he's shooting free throws, be quiet so we can focus. And like, I mean, if I was a player and the entire crowd is shushing each other because they're all starting to panic that I might brick one of these free throws, it would put so much extra pressure on you, right? And of course, he makes 1 of 2. So now we got something. And Nembhard just kept making these threes. It was like 3-pointer after 3-pointer. And I was listening to the Reggie Miller call simultaneously because I had those monitors and I brought a headset. So it's like, I'm like, this is just on the nose. I mean, it's Reggie freaking Miller on the call in the Garden reenacting one of his big games.
Well,
reenacting with like Nembhard and Halliburton playing the Reggie Miller role.
Well, I mean, right down to Momo, Halliburton hitting the shot that initially he thought was the game winner. Turned out it was a 2, not a 3. But at that point, he's doing the Reggie Miller choke, which then the game goes to overtime. And I'm like, okay, the Pacers now need to win because otherwise Halliburton's going to become like a reverse choke meme where anytime something gets jinxed, you're going to see that meme of Halliburton doing the premature choke.
I know. And like I thought the way the Knicks blew that lead, I was like, oh man, they're not going to win in overtime. Like it's like India had all the momentum. You know, the Knicks had turnovers. There was like a tightness. You know, when you blow a lead like that, there's a tightness to you.
Sure.
There's like I can't believe that just happened. I mean, John, it happened in 4.5 minutes of game time. It was like,
Ramona,
it was
you
so
could
fast.
even, if you wanted to even be more precise, they were down 14 with 2:35 left. 2:35. And
unbelievable.
All right, so one thing I've been noticing, I've been texting a lot with Ben. I don't have the heart to text him today. But
he needs his space.
Yeah, Ben is like Ben Lyons, our buddy, is like the world's biggest Knicks fan. And my sense was, Ramona, that over the past week or so, this is as crazy as New York basketball has been in this century. Like, you'd have to go back to 99 when they made the finals. But there is an energy in New York City about the Knicks now that has never been there before. Did you before the Pacers put the comeback on, did you sense that? Like, you've been to the Garden a bunch like I have.
Oh, yeah, because I've been walking around. I mean, I've been walking around town for a few days, and everywhere you go, I mean, they literally changed street signs around New York. It has, like, Jalen Brunson Avenue, Karl Anthony Towns Place.
Oh,
like,
no.
I mean, there's, like, they're all over town like that. You know, you got everybody. You know what it is, John? You know why it's so cruel? It's because they started to believe.
Well, I'm not sure that the series is over. Like, who do you have?
No, I'm not either.
Who do you have winning the series now?
I mean, I picked the Knicks in 7, but I got to be honest. Can I tell you what? I was like, okay, they're so close.
So
they
did
have
I,
home
by the way.
court. They got Brunson. I think it's going to be a 7-game series, but I also saw the videos of Brian Windhorst getting harassed outside the Garden, and I was like, I'm about to go there, so I don't want to do anything to tick off Knicks fans right now, so I'm just going to pick him in 7 with no skin off my nose at this point.
Right. It was a
like,
safety
I don't need
choice.
that at this point, you know, like, yeah, I choose me. Okay. And like, you know, wouldn't you? I mean, did you see the videos of Windhorst?
Did you just go full Kelly Taylor on us right there?
I choose
pretty
me.
much.
Yeah.
I choose
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need all that. I like New York, Dale. I want people to be nice to me. Listen, I rode the subway like 2 or 3 times today. I have this face, or there's something about me that I seem like the person that the people who come up to you and stop and say, "Can I tell you a joke?"
Yeah, you're accessible.
And then I humor them for some reason. And then this one guy, I mean, I was like, he comes up to me and he goes, this other guy goes, "I only talk to people who have great hair." And I was like, "Oh God, I'm this girl. Oh my God, I got 2 of them in
stop
one subway
you.
ride."
That I love that. Okay, Momo, did the Pacers win that game or did the Knicks lose it?
I think the Pacers mostly won it.
That's what I think.
I think so too. I mean, Andrew Nemhard hit 6 3-pointers in 4.5 minutes. That's crazy. And then Tyrese Halliburton made that crazy shot, the Obi top and dunk. Yes, the Knicks.
By the way, he
missed
got
1 or 2
fouled
free
on that dunk, and they didn't
He
call it.
did. Yes,
he absolutely did. And Halliburton was amazing. Like, Jalen Brunson had some turnovers. Toppin made 1 or 2 free throws. Cat made 1 or 2 free throws. But, like, I feel like they still had such a huge lead that it took something extraordinary, like a guy making 6 straight 3-pointers.
I mean, those Naismith shots still have to. Those Naismith shots still have to go down. Like, there's a lot that the Pacers, I think, had to take. That said, Momo, and I know this because I saw a clip of you online. You were with the the Knicks post game after that loss.
I was with both of them. Yeah.
What sense do you get about how the Knicks are going to take this moving forward?
I mean, they don't have a lot of time. Okay, they play tomorrow night. Like, that's what the thing about these conference finals are. They play every other day. I think both of these teams are here because they pulled upsets in the last couple of rounds, right? And they both have had this knack for coming back on favored teams, and that's, I don't want to say that's easy to do, but it doesn't come. It doesn't have a lot of pressure. Like when you're going up against if you're the Knicks and you're playing the Celtics, there's no pressure on you. Everyone thinks the Celtics are going to win. Same thing with the Pacers. If you're playing Cleveland and they're the top seeded team, everyone thinks Cleveland's going to win. Like, didn't we have all the ESPN expert picks and we all picked against them? So there's no pressure on a 20-point comeback. You're already losing when everyone expected you to lose. Now there's pressure, and I think the pressure is all on the Knicks.
It's true.
They're so close because they're so close, and the city is believing. And it's like, I haven't seen them play with pressure yet, so let's see. I don't know how they're going to handle it.
All right, Momo, answer this question any way you want, but you only get to give me one answer, okay? One.
Okay. No hedging. Got it.
What's the greatest sports movie ever?
The Bull Durham.
That was in my top 5. We were debating. The fact is, we all tried to debate it, and we all came up. Andy and I both. I had Bull Durham as my number 5. Andy and I both said Rocky.
Because I believe in the Church of Baseball.
Yeah. I think it's the best baseball movie ever. Laura said Sandlot, and Brian said For the Love of the Game. But we each ranked top 5. And we have like 20 different movies. That's how hard that question is to answer.
It is a good. I mean, look, I used to think Hoosiers was in that discussion, and then I rewatched it, and it doesn't age as well.
Nope.
No, it doesn't. It's like one of those like what you saw when you were a kid, and it was great. But
especially like the basketball scenes are what I think aged the worst of anything in the movie.
Right. Well, most of those guys couldn't play.
I mean, to me, it's bold. I mean, I think all the major league movies are pretty good. They age well.
A couple of people mentioned those.
Remember the Titans is good. Blindside's good. But for me, like, I'm a baseball person.
There you go.
I love it's Bull Durham.
There you go. All right. Are you married to this series? Like, will you follow him to Indiana? Or are you coming home?
No, I'm coming home. I'm coming home on Saturday.
All right. Good.
And then, so I came out here because I called my editor and I said, if the Knicks make the finals, it's the biggest story in sports, and we got to have like a bunch of really good stories. And he was like, "You're right. Go." So
good. I was going to say, good arguing. Well debated.
Yeah, it was good, right?
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, and I was like, I had been on the West. I mean, it's easier for me to do the West. Obviously, it's closer, but I just feel like it's the biggest story in sports. And so I've been working on a couple of New York-y stories while I've been out here. And then I'm going to fly home Saturday and just kind of see where both series are at and stay. I'll be home for most of next week, I think.
Good. Okay, well, thank you for doing this. Have fun. I think Game 2, if it's anything like Game 1, is going to be incredible. So,
and I'm enjoying my night in New York. I'm going out. Guess who I'm going out with tonight? Kelly Aucoin, who played Dollar Bill from.
Yeah, he's also in Billions.
And he was in my show. He played Andy Roser in Cliff.
Right. Nice. Yeah.
So I was in town, and he's like, "I got to take you to my martini bar." I'm like, "Oh, this is
love it." I'll be anxious to hear about that one.
I haven't had a drink in like several months. How's this night going to go for me? I don't
know. I'm predicting greatness. I am predicting
let me tell you, from my last time at the Mandy's, there's nothing more fun than Momo who's had one too many. Momo is the best.
That might have been 3 too many at the Mandy's. I don't know.
Yeah, but
trying to be generous.
God bless, Momo. Thank you for doing this. Have fun
Thanks,
tonight.
guys.
And
all right.
And that's Ramona Shelburne covering the Knicks-Pacers game in New York City. Coming up next. I should have kept Momo around for this. Breaking Raiders news. Mason and Ireland, Andy in for Mase, ESPN LA.
Celebrate 1 year of Legends Attic with Travis and DeMarco live May 30th. Iconic legends like Steve Sachs, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, the Legends Attic giveaway, live art with Dave Hobrecht, and see the ball from Freddie Freeman's unforgettable Game 1 Grand Slam. All happening at Legends Attic. It's a really cool spot, by the way, if you've never been. 619 West Foothill Boulevard in Claremont. Tickets at legendsattic.com.
A fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
He does this thing for our social team at ESPN Los Angeles. He calls it the Cappy Lappy. So he does
like a lap dance?
No, it would be
Sedano and Cap.
Weekdays at 3 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
Ignite your afternoons at Waba Grill's $5 happy hour with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium one beverage drink, like our creamy and delicious Thai tea. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. Only at Waba Grill.
USC football.
Hey guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
At 4:30 p.m. Pregame starts at 4. LAFC CF Montreal. Saturday on the ESPN LA app.
Ever feel like the road is out to... Thankfully, Hyundai is always working to ensure it doesn't, with over 130 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
Lease a Hyundai Tucson for only $259 a month, or get 3.99% APR for 72 months. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end June 2nd. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
With Progressive Customer Service, there are lots of ways to connect with us, so you never have to miss a second of your favorite sport. Because you'd much rather watch a ball go through a net 124 times in 48 minutes when you don't really have to pay attention until the last two, and then somehow those 2 minutes will take an hour. You don't want to miss all that. Luckily, you can chat with Progressive on our app, online, or over the phone without missing a single one of those times the ball goes through the metal circle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
And it is Mason and Ireland, your Thursday afternoon. I'm just going to tease this. Just a little tease. There's a big private event coming for Mason and Ireland fans this summer. Keep listening for details. You can press the flesh and be part of something that's never happened before. ... Of course, I mean, first they need to sign those new contracts. But anyway, Mason and Ireland continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
All right, it's Andy Kamenetsky in Ireland today. And by the way, it's Andy's game for Game of Games. And Laura Romo is going for 5 in a row.
I need a win.
Brian, has anyone... You need a win. Shut up.
I do.
Brian, has anyone ever won 5 in a row? I don't think so. I don't think I've ever won 5 in a row.
Not to my knowledge. I don't think it's happened.
4 in a row, or is that still just me?
I don't know if anybody's won 4
I don't know
in a
either.
row.
I know people have gone, 2, 3 maybe for sure, but
you may, Laura, you may have the hitting streak right now, and going for 5 in a row is insane. Good for you. All right, I mentioned that the Raiders are in the news. The Ashton Genty, their number 1 draft pick out of Boise State, when he stands in the backfield, he uses something what his teammates and friends have called the Halloween stance, because he stands straight up and they say he looks like Michael Myers from the Halloween movies. And then the next thing you know, they snap the ball and he locks in.
Yeah.
Good call on the music. He locks in and just takes off. And he ran for, he was leading rusher in the country this year.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. But the offensive coordinator for the Raiders is Chip Kelly, the former UCLA coach who was at Ohio State last year, helped the Buckeyes win the national title. Chip knows a little bit about football. Sure. Chip says he wants him in a more traditional knees bent stance. Chip knows a lot about football. On the other hand, Ashton Genty, the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, comes to mind. If you're Ashton Genty, do you do what Chip Kelly wants and go to a more traditional knees bent stance, or do you stick with the Halloween stance?
I try it first. I try what my coach wants me to do because I'm a rookie, and when you're coming into the league, I think you are setting a good impression for yourself if you give it a try. That said, I'm not giving it a long try either. And if it either feels super weird or it's not working, then I say, you know what, coach, appreciate the feedback. I'm going to do my thing. And then if Chip Kelly causes a problem, I go over Chip Kelly's head. Because let's be honest, if this is a contest between Genty and Chip Kelly, Genty's going to win.
Well, it's interesting you say that. That's exactly how he's playing it. He says, I'm going to do what he wants, and I'm going to try. What I would do, just as kind of a tip of the hat, is one carry a game, do the Halloween stance. Maybe the first carry of the
get it
game.
out of the way.
And then after that, you go to a traditional knees bent stance as a salute to Boise State.
Now, if you're Genty, do you tank that first one, the one that
No, you want to do really well because maybe you could argue that
I misheard you. I thought you meant you were doing the first one like Kelly wanted, then the rest of them like himself.
Other way around.
Right.
Yeah.
I would start out trying the thing my coach wants. Again, Chip Kelly does know a lot about the game, and it is not impossible that Genty could actually be better doing it the way Chip Kelly suggested. I mean, there's no reason to think that the main reason he's that good is because he starts out standing.
Right.
Feels like a reach.
It seems almost like window dressing.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, if it just feels weird, it's not working or whatever, I'm not going to give it a whole season of trying it. I'll tell you that much.
All right. We'll see how it plays out. But he says for now he's going to listen to Chip Kelly, and he's going to try it. All right. Speaking of Genty, he's worn the number 2, the jersey number 2, for his whole life. Okay? High school, college. On the Raiders, Daniel Carlson, their kicker, has had number 2 since 2020, and Daniel Carlson's a really good kicker. So, when they drafted Genty, Carlson and Genty got together, and Carlson stuck him with a 6-figure bill for giving up his number. 6 figures. Then Carlson took the money and donated it to charity.
Yeah, the majority of it he donated to a charity.
Right. So here's my question. Does this make Carlson sound generous or greedy?
Generous. He gave the majority of it to charity. Like, it sounds to me like he kept the portion that he would have asked for without a charity.
Right.
But then he upped the ante and essentially raised money for a charity. It only would have been greedy if he kept the 6 figures entirely for himself. But to me, this is like a win-win for everybody because the charity benefits, Carlson makes a little extra money, And now Genty, the money that he paid for that number, the majority of it now is a tax write-off because it's a charitable donation.
I didn't think about that.
So Genty comes out ahead too. Like this worked
I'm
out
just
great
not
for
so
everyone.
sure that Genty's going to be a candidate for Rookie of the Year. Brian, we got a guy in here. He was second in the Heisman voting to Cam Ward. He might be Rookie of the Year. I'm a kicker. A kicker is barely on the team. I know he's important, but he's especially I'd feel a little guilty about sticking this guy with 6 figures. How about you?
No, and especially to that point saying you're the kicker. You know, these kickers, you miss a couple kicks, they're gone.
Genty's probably already made on his rookie
Right,
deal more than
exactly.
Carlson's made in his entire career.
I do like the charity factor of this, though. I feel like it's not as bad that you have that.
Laura, what do you think?
He's smart. Whoever told him to give that to charity, to give that tax break is smart. And yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all.
That was me. I could be his accountant.
Yeah,
no, not you.
I
before
think
that.
I would.
That was my idea. I just came up with
I think I would handle it more like Roki Sasaki handled it. He asked Miguel Rojas, "Can I have your number?" Because that's the number I've had my whole life. I can't even remember what number it was. And Rojas said, "Absolutely, it's great to have you here. Go ahead and take it." And then Sasaki, as a gesture,
Yeah, this is really nice.
got him like all these like really expensive samurai swords.
He gave the thing that I saw. He gave him like a very, I think, rare and expensive bottle of sake in a really, really nice box. Like it's a beautiful box. And he said like this was something that meant a lot to him personally. He wanted to share culture, stuff like that.
Did you ever hear what Shohei did?
The Porsche?
Yeah. Not even to him, to his wife.
Right.
So
To
Joe
Joe Kelly's
Kelly
wife.
had the number 17. Shohei had worn it his whole career. And Joe Kelly said, if you come to our team, you can have whatever you want. Like, we really want you to come here. So Shohei gets it. Kelly says, you can have the number. You're Shohei Ohtani. And the next day, a Porsche gets delivered to Joe Kelly's wife as a thank you from Shohei.
Here's what I want to know, and I want to make it clear. I'm not saying this to denigrate or, be skeptical about Ohtani's gift. Like, this is really nice of him to do. Ohtani, though, is a Porsche athlete. Like, I believe he has some type of deal with Porsche.
So you think they took care of it?
They might have taken care of it, or Ohtani got a good deal on it. But you have to pick your spots. Like I doubt Ohtani has access to unlimited Porsches. Like you can only do this so many times. But that is a piece of this. Like he had a connection to Porsche.
Okay, but would you care? Like if you're receiving
no.
exactly.
That's
I'm
why
like,
I
if
said
I'm
I'm
getting the
not.
Porsche,
I'm
give
not
me the
saying.
Porsche, baby. Give me
Oh
the
no,
Porsche.
I said I'm not saying this to in any way denigrate Ohtani's jet. No, I'm more curious. Like, how much did this set Ohtani back?
But
like, if at all?
My whole point is that shouldn't matter because the Porsche showed up, and if I'm receiving the Porsche, I don't care.
Oh,
if
it
you
doesn't
got it for
matter.
free
I'm
or
more.
not, you know what I mean?
I'm just curious because I want to know how the sausage is made. I'm not in any way again trying to take away from it. I wouldn't feel any worse about it.
All right, coming up next is Game of Games. Laura Romo is on a heater. She has won 4 Game of Games in a row. Now, I kind of own Game of Games around here, and I have never done that. I had a 6-1 lead over Laura for the month of May. It is now 6-5. She catches me if she wins today, and it's my game tomorrow, so she could pass me tomorrow. Now, Andy, it is your game today. Mario Ruiz is going to play. So it's Brian, Laura, Mario, and me. We don't know what it's about. Who would you favor based on those 4 players?
I think I'm favoring you.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure. I know Laura is sweating this because she wants to set the record. Laura, if you're looking for any type of hint.
You're not giving it to me.
No. I am wearing right now a T-shirt from Paramount Studios.
Mm-hmm.
There is a hint in my T-shirt. That's the only thing I'm going to tell you. Also, do I have a read? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, yes, you have blackjack.
That's what I thought. It's blackjack. Okay. Double down with Cappy at the $10,000 blackjack tournament. June 6th at Park West Bicycle Casino. Sedano and Cap Show. We'll broadcast live from 3 to 6 p.m. Join us. Check in for the tournament. Say double down with Cappy at the player rewards desk for free entry into the tournament. Reserve your spot with us now at ESPNLA.com.
The most followed sports radio station in the world.
In the world. That's right. In the world.
710 ESPN.
You know it. Yeah, tell your friends.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
We're naturally
entertaining.
Yes. LA's mega sports station. 710 ESPN.
At Children's Hospital Los Angeles, we're a nationally recognized leader in pediatric care, honored by U.S. News and World Report as one of the best in the country. Here, we achieve amazing breakthroughs that change lives. From groundbreaking cancer therapies that offer new hope to young patients, to advanced heart procedures that save lives, we partner with families to conquer challenges and achieve extraordinary outcomes. Choose the best care for your child at chla.org.
Do you know a high school senior who's a true all-star on the field, in the classroom, and in the community? ESPN LA, along with Rotolo Chevrolet and Capozio Buick GMC, is proud to present the All-Star Student Program. We're honoring 5 incredible seniors with a $500 scholarship and an exclusive VIP experience at ESPN LA's All-Star Friday night. Nominate your standout student today at ESPNLA.com. ESPN LA All-Star Student, brought to you by Rotolo Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in the West region once again. Come see what all the fun is about.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their 1-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
A lot of bits together.
The 12-inch dog, you know?
Yeah, the
It was
Schwanz.
24.
24?
It was 24.
Oh, the Glizzy. You're talking about the
12
Glizzy,
inch,
not the
Oh, no, it
Schwanz.
was 22 inches.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
I did 11 and a half.
Right, I did 10 and a half. That's
And then I eventually had heart failure. So how did it all work out?
Heart failure, all for the bit.
The LA Afternoon Takeover. That's Sedano and Cap.
On 710 ESPN.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
710 ESPN.
And it is time for Game of Games on the #1 sports radio show in LA, Mason and Ireland. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mase.
Okay, no Mase today. Andy Kamenetsky pinch hitting for him, and Andy has the game. It is Brian, Mario Ruiz. We welcome to the program. Hi, Mario.
What's up, John?
Me and Laura Romo, who has won 4 consecutive Game of Games. We don't think it's ever been done before, and we know no one's ever won 5. So, Laura, your chance today
I'm coming
to make a
after
little
Laura.
history.
That's why I'm here. I'm coming after Laura.
Damn,
she gets back from Puerto Rico. She thinks she's all fly now.
There's some in the
I mean,
Here's
I
where
don't
it
think,
stops.
baby, I know.
Here's where it stops.
Andy, what's the game?
Well, on this day in 1996, the first of the Mission Impossible movies was released. Tom Cruise's Ethan Hunt went on to spawn a franchise that
Oh, yeah, I'm
launched
sure.
7 more films, including Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, opening tomorrow. With that in mind, we are going to do some trivia about the Mission Impossible franchise.
Okay, I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen most of them.
All right,
Okay,
I'm
here
out
we
with
go.
this one.
In what year did the TV show Mission Impossible hit the airwaves? 1966, 1967, or 1968? 66, 67, or 68? That was the year the TV show Mission Impossible debuted. John first.
I'm going to go 66.
Laura.
I'm going to go 67.
Brian.
68.
Mario.
66.
Mario and John are
On the board. That's it, Mario. Let's take her down.
1966.
Go.
Fun fact, the show eventually became a Paramount property, like my shirt, but it began as a Desi Lou production, the company run by Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz.
Okay.
Who was the composer of the iconic theme song from the TV show? Henry Mancini, Quincy Jones, or Lalo Schifrin? Henry Mancini, Quincy Jones, Lalo Schifrin composed the iconic dun, 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 dun. Laura goes first.
I honestly have no idea. I'm going to go B.
So Quincy Jones.
I'm going to start just going A, B, or C because that's been working.
Okay, Quincy Jones. Brian goes next.
Quincy Jones.
And Mario.
Schifrin.
I'm with Mario Schifrin.
It is, in fact, Lalo Schifrin. By the way,
Damn,
Lalo, if you like movie scores, check out Lalo Schifrin stuff. It's phenomenal.
All right, Mario, I'm cheering for you because tomorrow I can
Okay.
catch him.
folded already?
You're already folding.
Wow. For two.
Okay.
Wow.
What was the...
You're no Indiana Pacers, Laura. I'll tell you that.
You're no Aaron
I'm
Neesmith.
the Lakers, when they
What was the reported budget for the first Mission Impossible? 70 mil, 80 mil, or 90 mil? 70, 80, or 90 mil first Mission Impossible budget. Brian Cohen goes first.
For the first movie in 96.
96.
Okay.
Wow, that's a lot
70
of money.
mil. 70.
70. Mario.
I'm going 70 as well.
John.
I don't want to leave an opening for Laura, but I think it is 70. Laura?
I will go different and go 80.
Laura, you're on the board.
Damn.
Congratulations.
That was clutch, Laura.
Let her back
that
in.
was clutch.
By the way, the reported budget for Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, anywhere from 3 to 400 million.
Yeah, it's inflationary.
Wow.
Here we go.
Who was first attached to the role of Ethan Hunt when the movie went into development? Alec Baldwin, Val Kilmer, or Tom Cruise from the beginning always? Baldwin, Kilmer, or Cruise from the beginning, first attached to the role of Ethan Hunt when the movie went into development. Mario goes first.
I'm going to go Val Kilmer on this one.
John.
I think it was Cruise from the beginning.
Laura.
I think it was Val Kilmer.
And BC.
Tom Cruise all the way.
Tom Cruise all the way is the correct answer.
I got my lead back.
Cruise actually convinced Paramount, who'd had the property for years and didn't know what to do with it, to star and produce in the movie.
All right, right now the score is John 3, Mario 2, Brian and Laura 1 each.
Indeed. Emilio Estevez famously has an uncredited cameo at the beginning of the first Mission Impossible movie, returning a favor from years ago after his longtime friend Tom Cruise made an uncredited cameo in an Emilio Estevez vehicle. Which movie was it? Young Guns, Men at Work, or Wisdom, the directorial debut of Emilio Estevez? Young Guns, Men at Work, or Wisdom? Cruise has a cameo in it. Laura goes first.
I absolutely have no idea. So again, A.
So Young Guns is what you're picking.
Sure.
Okay. Brian.
C, the one he directed.
Wisdom.
Wisdom, yes.
Not a good movie. Mario.
I'm going Wisdom as well.
Still not a good movie. John.
Make it 3 not a good movies. I'm going Wisdom.
Well, BC is the only one that got this correct. Or Laura, Young Guns.
Wow.
Young Guns.
You're only one back.
Tom Cruise has a blink or you will miss it role as somebody getting shot by Emilio's posse. Besides Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames is the only actor who's been in all 8 Mission Impossible movies. Around the time of the first Mission Impossible, he also famously gave his Golden Globe Award for playing Don King away to an actor who was in the audience whose work he always admired. Which actor was it? Jack Lemmon, Jack Nicholson, or Jack Palance, an older era actor, probably best known from City Slickers?
Have me go last.
I will have you go last.
Okay.
Which I guess means Brian goes first.
Nicholson.
Nicholson. Mario.
I'm going to go Nicholson.
Laura.
I have no clue.
Still got to pick.
Okay, B.
So you're picking Nicholson as well.
Oh, okay, sure.
It's Jack Lemmon.
It is Jack Lemmon. It is. By the way, you can find this on YouTube where
Jack Lemmon doesn't know what to do.
Jack Lemmon has no idea that this was going to come. He calls Lemmon on stage, gives him his award. Like, Lemmon is just speechless. In the meantime, Jack Nicholson is in the crowd, and you can see him mouthing, "Give it to me. Give it to me." It's such a great moment.
All right, how many are left, Andy?
I believe I've got 4 or 5.
Okay,
something like that.
so you're good. The score: John 4, Laura 2, Mario 2, Brian 1. So you have 4 or 5 left.
I think 4 or 5, something like that.
Okay.
And a tiebreaker if needed.
Okay. I should go first because I'm 2 up.
Mission Impossible scored a $45.4 million opening weekend, which broke a record for a May release that had just been set right before Mission Impossible. Which movie had set the record? The Rock, The Nutty Professor, or Twister? The Rock, The Nutty Professor, or Twister had set that record that Mission Impossible broke. I think...
I'm going first.
Okay, you're going first.
I'm going to say Nutty Professor.
Okay, Laura.
I'm going to go with Twister.
Okay, BC.
Twister.
And Mario.
Nutty Professor.
Twister it is.
Oh, no.
I almost went with that one, too.
Twister it is. So, Laura, you're now just one behind John. Which action...
I have to go first again, by the way.
Which action star from the 80s and 90s was attached at one point to play the MI3 villain played by the late, great Philip Seymour Hoffman? Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, or Wesley Snipes? Willis, Stallone, or Snipes was originally attached to play the role Philip Seymour Hoffman played.
Wow, those are totally different guys.
I know.
Totally different.
I know, Mario.
I'm going to go Bruce Willis.
Okay. I guess we'll just keep the same order. Laura.
Do I go different here? I will go Stallone.
BC.
Wesley Snipes.
Mario.
I'm going to go Bruce Willis.
This is getting good. Laura, it is Sylvester Stallone.
God, I can't believe
Which,
I clippered this.
side note, Hoffman would have way better than Stallone would have been. In an interview...
80s, 90s, that's why.
How many are left now?
1, 2, 3 plus a bonus.
Okay, 3 plus a tiebreaker. Laura, you have to go first on this one, and you've tied me at 4.
Wow. Okay.
This is you're basically Aaron Neesmith at this point.
Okay.
Let's not go that far until I win.
In an interview with the Q&A podcast with Jeff Goldsmith, side note, buddy of mine from college, Tom Cruise stated that the gray suit that he wore during an opening plane sequence in one of the Mission Impossible movies was a direct homage to a Hitchcock movie. Which movie? North by Northwest, To Catch a Thief, or Foreign Correspondent? North by Northwest, To Catch a Thief, or Foreign Correspondent, homage to that Hitchcock movie.
I honestly really don't know, so I'm just going to go A.
North by Northwest?
Sure.
Okay. That would mean Brian.
B.
So To Catch a Thief.
Yes, Catch a Thief.
To Catch a Thief.
And
The only thing I know, I don't know the answer, but I know North by Northwest had a plane in it. And I remember Cary Grant running in a suit. So I'm going to go with Laura and say North by Northwest.
you are both correct. It is North by Northwest. Incredible.
You're getting really hard to beat.
Iconic scene. It is an iconic scene.
All right, there are 2 left.
2 left.
I have to go first now. Oh,
Okay.
my gosh. I'm going to
Are,
blow
are
this.
Mario
too.
and BC out? They're both at 2.
Yeah, they're out.
Okay.
It has turned into a show.
Terrible.
This is great. What theater? Which of the Mission Impossible
I
movies?
blew this lead.
Let's go, John. Let's go, John.
I think you still got me, John. I don't know.
Which was the first Mission Impossible movie to get filmed in 3D? Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible Rogue Protocol, Mission Impossible Fallout, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Protocol, or Fallout. Or Rogue Nation, I'm sorry, Rogue Nation, or Fallout. First to get filmed in 3D. The music really
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I'm totally guessing.
Okay.
I'm going with Ghost Protocol.
Okay, so Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, or Fallout, Laura?
I have no idea.
It's gotten you this far.
Hey, it's working.
Fallout.
Laura Romo has taken the lead.
No
it is
way.
Fallout.
No, I really don't know.
I can't beat her. It's
You could tie her, though. You could tie her to the
No, if
bonus.
she gets this right, she wins it.
Well, I'm just saying.
And she has to go first.
Okay.
Laura, you should just play like you know. Don't say I have no idea.
I really don't, though.
No, this is part. No,
Just
no.
say, oh, I got this.
This no, no,
I got this one.
No. This is a ritual.
yeah,
She
this
says
is
she
my
doesn't know.
ritual.
This is what's gotten her here.
really don't.
Okay. How many total Academy Awards has the Mission Impossible franchise been nominated for? So the entire
Nominated.
7 movies leading up to this
7 movies.
nominated for 2, 12, or 22. 2, 12, or 22 for the entire Mission Impossible franchise. How many Oscars have they been
I'm
nominated
going to
for?
go down the middle and say 12.
John Ireland.
I'm going 2.
John Ireland, you are pushing a tie.
Oh, I did it. Okay.
Damn.
And she's
I'm
terrible at
terrible at
tiebreakers.
these, Yeah.
Okay.
100% terrible at these.
Yes, just 2. The most recent one, Dead
Wow.
Reckoning Part 1, got nominated for 2 Oscars.
It was 7 movies, damn it, people.
Okay.
I can't believe it came down to this.
Yeah.
I
Here's
really
the
can't.
tiebreaker.
I'm horrible at this, so he definitely got me.
According to the movie box office website, The Numbers, what is the total worldwide gross of all of the Mission Impossible movies combined? Total worldwide, not domestic. Worldwide gross. The entire...
All 7.
All 7.
Okay.
Write it down.
I got it. Well, I got a number. If I'm right, no, but, you know, here we are. I'm horrible at
And
these
feel
guys.
free, by the way, to get super specific.
Okay. I got one, Laura. What'd you write down?
55 billion.
55 billion?
Yeah.
I wrote 4.2 billion.
John Ireland, not only
Told
do
you.
you win, you came within screaming distance. 4,148,000,000.
Wow, that's even more impressive.
333,000.
I so thought I had New York nicked this.
I'm so pissed I didn't go 2 instead of 12.
Wait a minute. What was your guess?
55 billion.
55 billion.
Laura, there were only 7 movies.
I don't know. I
If
told you I'm
one
horrible
movie
at
makes
this.
$1 billion, that's unbelievable.
Did I mean 5.5?
Yeah, I think
Well, you still lost, but you at least sound more reasonable.
I'm horrible at tiebreakers.
Oh my gosh, that I
horrible.
thought I had wet the bed and then some. That's unbelievable.
Dare I say, this was one of the
Great
most.
game.
This was one of the most exciting game of games
Yeah.
we've had in.
It was a good run, Laura. It
I'll
was a
tell you
good
what,
run.
you put up a great fight, Laura. Great fight. She just threw something at me. All right, back with Supercross. I need a drink of something. Supercross Talk next, ESPN LA.
A fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
We do like a joint practice, then we invite Cappy to do hit some BP and some grounders.
Wait, you guys are going to have a joint practice, or you need me to bring weed?
No, wait, time out. Sedano and Cap
Weekdays at 3 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
Waba Grill is an LA original, so we've got to keep it real. Real fresh with our Asian-inspired menu that's grilled to order every time. Pick me up and never put me down. Real quality with our marinated proteins like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium beverage drink like our creamy and delicious Thai tea. Waba Grill, keeping it real every day for you.
Hey guys, it's Cap. Here's the scenario. Your home is flooded and the damage is severe. Now it feels like your insurance company is turning on you. They won't approve a replacement living arrangement and the adjuster leaves you in the lurch. Take a breath and call Avner Gatt, one of Southern California's largest public adjuster firms. Avner Gatt knows how to fight back when your insurance company makes you feel like a criminal, leaving you with no hope of getting into your home and getting it all back together. With decades of experience and a passion for helping people, Avner and his family take the call themselves. So whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is, you call Avner Gatt today at 818-917-5256 or you go to avnergatt.com. It's 818-917-5256 or avnergatt.com. You call, Avner answers, he says hello. Your claim is our game. avnergatt.com.
Hey, it's Mase. Did you know Goodwill Southern California is more than just amazing thrift finds? They're transforming lives with job training, career placement, and support services for veterans, youth, and individuals overcoming barriers to employment. Every donation and purchase fuels these life-changing programs. For more on how you can help, go to powerofwork.goodwillsocal.org. That's powerofwork.goodwillsocal.org. Brought to you by GSC Verizon Skill Forward.
Hey guys, double down with me, Cappy, at the $10,000 blackjack tournament June 6th at Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Join us for a live broadcast from 3 to 6 p.m. and say double down with Cappy at the Player Rewards Desk for a free entry into the tournament, which starts at 7 p.m. sharp. Live radio, real cards, big prizes. Seats are very limited, so lock in yours now. RSVP for more info on the tournament details at ESPNLA.com.
KSPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason and Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light. Made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
I only do this woo to get Cappy to jump in on his bullhorn. There it is. Oh, Cap, I almost New York nicked the game of games to let Laura win 5 in a row.
I was listening. I can't believe it. She was so close.
Yes, and then she guessed $55 billion for 7 movie gross.
Laura.
I would have lost anyways. You were so close.
Come on,
Yeah,
Laura.
probably.
But Laura,
should have gotten
think-
2, not
But just think about it, Laura. Like, think about if there were 7 of them, right? Wasn't that what you guys said? There were 7
Yep.
Mission Impossible movies, and let's just say each one of them makes $100 million. That's $700 million.
Listen.
Well, let's say each one makes $1 billion. That's $7 billion, not $55 billion.
I told you I'm horrible at that.
Radio Michael says $55 billion. WTF? This is going on the list of worst guesses, especially considering the stakes.
I got sent a GIF of Dr. Evil, doing the 1 million.
Yeah.
Crypto
And it
Ray?
just says 55 billion
It's Crypto
question
Ray,
mark.
huh?
Laura,
Yeah.
Laura wanted me to play. Hi, Cappy. Let me give you full disclosure. I told John in the break this. Laura asked me to play. I said, nope, not with those guys. Those games are hard.
Real hard. The great Kevin Reese, sports photographer
I love
extraordinaire,
Kevin
says,
Kev.
lined up on my Knicks. I New York nicked this. No, Kevin, you deserve it. Better, did you watch the Knicks-Pacers game last night or not hear about it until today?
No, I was watching it last night. I was actually working on it with my son, and we had the game on YouTube TV, right?
Cappy, how about you?
And then all of a sudden, we're like, no way.
Did you see it live or find out about it this morning?
No, I was watching it while I was driving at about 80 miles an hour on the 5 South.
Yeah. Crazy.
It was, for my money, one of the great playoff games of all time. I've never, ever seen a team like the Pacers come back like that.
Yeah.
6
What was the stat you gave?
threes that
For what?
before last night, teams that were up playoff games in the NBA, teams that were up 9 with less than a minute to go, were 0 and 100, 1,414, 100, 400, 1,414.
That's like a Laura guess. That's like a Laura guess right there.
Yeah, it is. It's like a Laura guess in Game of Games.
55 billion.
Listen, I'm bad.
But do you think those games have a hangover effect? Like, are the Knicks in trouble now, or is it just one game?
No, I think the Knicks are in big trouble because I think that one thing about a game like that is you're at home, the place is going crazy, all the A-listers are out, you've got a massive lead, your best player is sitting on the bench, and then all of a sudden they just start raining down threes because the difference is the Pacers never quit. That game was over, and a lot of teams would have been like, hey, it's fine, whatever, it's game 1, it doesn't really matter.
Let's just split the series, get back home.
Right.
Nah, they never stopped.
Right, never quit. And there are some guys that made plays. I'll be honest with you, John, you get to see these games as the year goes on. The kid, Nesmith,
Neesmith, Aaron Neesmith.
Okay, guys, I'm asking you because I really don't know.
Ball nowhere.
Where's he come from? Where did he play his college ball? How long has he been in the NBA? First time I've ever really heard of the
He was
kid.
originally, I don't know where he went to college, but he was originally taken by the Celtics.
Yep. Spent a couple
and
years with
sat on the end of their bench.
He's
never
a Vandy kid.
Is it Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
And George Sedano now joining us live from OKC. He'll work the Thunder Wolves game tonight. Sedano, I know you go on a lot of dinners with big crews on the road. Were you able
Big
to?
Perk, what's up? Hi, Elizabeth. How are you?
Oh, Big
Sorry,
Perk.
I said what's at the Big Perk.
No, that's
Big
cool.
Perk.
From Beaumont, Texas. Big Perk.
Yeah.
Cappy's best
Sedano,
friend.
did you catch it live or not hear about it till later?
What's that about? What?
Knicks Pacers.
Oh no, I
last
saw.
night.
So here's the thing: we were at dinner, and we were watching the game at dinner, and then it was like whatever it was, 16 points, and they were like, all right, let's just get in the car, go back to the hotel, like let's go in the Uber now. So we went, and all of a sudden I saw the text from Cappy and DeAndre in our group text, and I'm like, oh my God, I saw the score, and I'm like, what's happening? I just got in the car. So we put it on the radio. We were listening to Sean Kelly's broadcast with Corey Alexander, and then we listened the regulation portion in the car, waited at the valet area until it went to overtime, and then walked into the bar to watch the end of it.
It was, to me, it's one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen. And I've been watching NBA games for 30 years. I'm at a loss to try and come up with a better playoff comeback than that.
I mean, there's one in that series you can make the argument. Reggie's 8 points in 9 seconds, right? Like, yeah.
But this was insane. And the fact that Halliburton – do you guys like the fact that Halliburton did the choke sign?
I love it.
Yeah.
I do too.
I love it.
So much fun.
Loved it.
New York Post had Choke 2.0 with Halliburton on the cover.
Right.
Beautiful.
I love it.
All that.
I love it, and I love that Reggie and him made eye contact, and Reggie pointed right at him. I loved it.
Yeah, it was to me. It was high drama. George, we were just asking. Do you think it has a hangover effect? Does this affect the Knicks past game one, or is it just one game?
No, I think that this team is, they've been in the playoffs before. They understand there's some heartache. I think that's just it. Like, it game to game, you're going to have a different story, and I'm not really I don't believe momentum carries over game to game very often.
Yeah, I don't either. But man, it's tough picking against the Pacers now. I picked the Knicks.
No, I agree.
I
had
the
Pacers
Knicks
in 6
7
from the beginning, so I feel good.
If anything, this could actually really ratchet up the urgency for the Knicks. Because, I mean, they realize, like...
Oh, they better.
Yeah, they...
Oh, you can't lose game 2 or it's over.
Have to.
They're not
win
winning
this
4 out of 5 against them. So, yeah, you got to win game 2.
All right, so, Sedano, you're going to watch tonight in person Shai Gilgeous-Alexander accept his MVP award in front of his hometown fans. You guys know I love to play sound and crosstalk. I ran this clip from Bill Simmons' podcast earlier. I'm going to play it. I want you and Cappy just to respond to it. Here's Bill.
I feel like Shai is getting this whistle that nobody else in the playoffs is getting, where there's little touch fouls or these bumps where you're not even sure who initiated the bumps, and he's just getting it. If you're Minnesota, the one thing you're going to come out of the game is we have to get a better whistle on these SGA calls.
Well, they were furious the whole game. I mean, they were furious going into the game, which is always kind of a bad sign. If you're already like on edge about it, it's like it feels like you just got to chill out a little bit, accept that it's going to be bad. But yeah, I'm sure some clips will be sent to the league office between games 1 and 2.
Deservedly.
All right, George, do you think Shai gets a favorable whistle in these games?
I think what happens, I don't think he gets a favorable whistle. I think he's just really slithery. Unlike Harden, even in his prime, Harden was more of an artist when it came to it, right? Like in the sense of like he just knew how to flail and things like that. I'm not saying Shai doesn't do a little bit of that, but he doesn't do any more of it than other guys already do. What I think is he's so wiry, John, and so slithery and athletic that he can get to spots, and he initiates a lot of contact.
I agree.
If you watch him drive, he will have his forearm up like in an L shape. Now, he doesn't extend, so that's why he doesn't get called on the offensive foul, but he has it up, and he'll launch into you that way, and the refs don't know what to do with that because technically that's not a foul. Because his arm is not extended, and that's the actual rule. So he gets away with that. So I guess if that's a favorable whistle, then so be it. But I think more times than not, it's really him initiating the contact. But I'll push back a little bit on Simmons and Zach there in this regard. In 12 playoff games this season, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has 110 free throw attempts. You know where that ranks all time in any 12-game span in the playoffs?
No idea.
Wait, I do. I have a guess. I think I think that's like 47th, like all time.
Not even close. 406th.
406th all time? I was going to say 406.
Cappy, you were just missing one digit.
You should guess 55
billion, right.
All time, 406.
So you could tell from what Bill and Zach were saying that Minnesota is really mad. If I was Chris Finch, the Wolves coach,
they are mad because trust me, I just talked to somebody right before I came on here that was not thrilled about it.
I would.
I'm telling you,
I would walk